Chapter 251, My name is Rocket, 4 more/subscription, wow. No, this is being eaten, rubbish. With this little beast being eaten, some people are happy, some are sad. This is also a gamble. Sir, my boss has a request. With Wang Wei's profit and taking away about 50,000 yuan of universe currency, Wang Wei did not continue to participate in the gambling battle. It is quietly holding the universe currency and waiting there. After a while, a woman with exposed clothes came directly to Wang Wei and said with a smile, "Let's go." After seeing that he was about to find someone out, Wang Wei directly took the little raccoon, Groot, and Sue and wanted to follow. In a box inside this bar, Wang Wei saw this one which looked like human species in the universe that have evolved like insects. For this race, Wang Wei frowned slightly. It is not a human shape, it is really unappreciable, especially that gives people a texture similar to insects. I don't know what Sir needs to do here. Looking at Wang Wei's insect universe race, he smiled directly at Wang Wei and asked, "I'm here to buy some news. The premise is, can you give me enough news?" While talking, Wang Wei once again took out a bunch of cosmic currency with his backhand. The total amount of these cosmic currencies is in 100,000. Seeing these cosmic currencies, whether it is the barkeeper or the little raccoon, I feel a little short of breath. Big boss. This guy is definitely a big boss. Sir, let's get your money back. Although I want to make your money, but I don't want to die miserably. Some nostalgic glanced at this 100,000 universe currency. The bar owner looked at Wang Wei with a wry smile. Although the money is in front of you, it is not easy to take. There is no way 100,000 cosmic currency can be taken out at will. This is definitely a hot thing. What do you mean you are not going to give me one? He raised his brows slightly, and Wang Wei's words contained some threats, and he asked the boss lightly, "Why do you have to say such things, sir? Your money is not what I can." For the sake of my life, I even think I still know what to say. "Sir, ask everything I know. I will know everything." The words are endless. If I don't know, please don't chase after me for inquiries. After all, I'm just a small bar owner on the periphery of this illegal zone. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. While talking, the bar owner directly pushed the 10,000 cosmic currency back with a nostalgic look. And the little raccoon next to Wang Wei had his eyes braved. A burst of light. Local tyrant. Big local tyrant. This kind of local tyrant, if you don't mix with others, you can't justify it. But the thought of the thing about himself being wanted makes this little raccoon a little subtle. The wanted list in this universe is not so easy to remove. "Tell me, it's for you. I won't lose 1 point." While talking, Wang Wei directly questioned the bar owner. In just a few moments after Wang Wei squeezed out certain information directly from the bar owner, he dropped the 30,000 cosmic currency. Half of the 30,000 cosmic currency was taken by Wang Wei from there. This bar owner's money. It's going to be messy. This is going to be messy. Rhythm. Hurry up. You must leave to find a place. Looking at the cosmic currency in front of him, the bar owner decided to pack his things directly. "Get out." "The zero you just asked about?" The little raccoon following Wang Wei suddenly raised his head and asked Wang Wei hesitantly, "What do you want to say?" Looking at the little raccoon at his feet, Wang Wei just smiled. "What I want to ask is if you really want to attack Kerry and the Empire." Horror is a kind of horror in the heart of this little raccoon. Who are Kerry and Empire are a group of lunatics. Even the dovish characters among them are a group of lunatics who eat people without spitting out bones. In the world, I would rather believe the words of interstellar pirates than resolutely believe in Kerry's rhetoric. Guess. With a hint of playful smile, Wang Wei just looked at this little raccoon. "It's crazy. You are all crazy. Do you know who you are dealing with? Kerry and Empire." That is Kerry and Empire with several galaxies. Some civilizations used to send fleets to encircle Kerry and the Empire. In the end, these civilizations were directly killed by Kerry and the Empire. "Do you think you have a chance of winning with you guys?" The little raccoon, who jumped directly on the shoulders of Groot, roared directly at Wang Wei. "Even if this is illegal, but this kind of rhetoric about Kerry and the Empire cannot be publicized. Come out. Otherwise, there is only death waiting for them. When did I tell you? Just a few of us looking at this excited little raccoon. Wang Wai raised his brow slightly. Fellow reminds you, 3 things to read and collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 252, How many subordinates do you have? 5 change/subscription. Kerry and the Empire are the existences that Wang Wai wants to start with. Wang Wai will not be so stupid that he will be alone with the Kerry and the Empire. What is the Umbrella Fleet in his hand and what is the Interstellar Fortress? Is this the same sentence used in this case? Fight alone, never have a future. Only by pulling up the power and blowing hard, it will be over. How many subordinates do you have? That's right. How could a big boss like you have no subordinates? However, according to the degree you just shot, you must also have several battleships in your hands. Perhaps a small fleet. If you don't have enough power, you can't hold your money. While talking, the little raccoon muttered to himself. This look is completely stupid. And at this moment, Tony, Dr. Stephen Banner and others all walked back with a smile on their faces. The stack of cosmic currency in their hands made these the guys didn't use much. It seems that these guys have also bought a lot of information. Here you. While talking, Tony threw the cosmic currency in his hand directly to Wang Wai. Wang Wai's eyelids directly blocked the cosmic currency from the outside. What I took out, never took it back! Exclamation mark. Here you are. Just take it. Maybe when you can use it. These are just my salary for you. While talking, Wang Wai smiled and said to these guys, salary? Hey, big boss. Sir. Oh yes. I don't know what your name is yet. My name is Rocket. As you can see, I am just a little raccoon. But I am also an excellent weapon expert. Excuse me, do you hire us? He looked open when he saw money. Rocket directly raised his head and rubbed his hands at Wang Wai and said with a smile, hire you? What can you bring to me? Look at this Rocket. Wang Wai wants to laugh a little. How can there be such a little bit of comical in this way of trying to sell himself? What can I bring you? I am an excellent weapon expert. And, when necessary, we can act as your fighters, as long as the price is easy to say. While talking, the Rockets patted Groot beside him and said seriously to Wang Wai, interesting. Wang Wai, who smiled slightly, did not talk about the topic of hiring or not. Instead, he turned his head and smiled at the friends of Fulian and said, okay, let's go. I am going to the inside of this illegal zone. Go take a look. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Look, are you interested? Everyone who heard Wang Wai's remarks couldn't help but frown. Inside the illegal zone. If you say that the periphery is equivalent to a street in a night market, it is noisy and lively, just like a gangster. Then the inside of this illegal zone is equivalent to the place where the formal and strict mafia is located. Well, it is roughly this analogy. Forget it. I won't go. As soon as I heard that I was going to such a place, Sue shook his head as a person who did not have much contact with the real dark level. After all, when I heard this kind of place, I was very unfriendly to people like Sue. And Sue, not too much. There is something involved with this place. I don't want to go too much now. But Wang Wai, can you lend me a little cosmic currency? I am going to take a look here. See where the technology in this universe has reached. Interest. I can still buy some interesting metals. While talking, Tony Stark smiled at Wang Wai and shrugged and said, after all, for Tony, the main problem is the reason for his armor, battle armor. The gap between himself and Wang Wai is getting wider. 300,000. Is it enough? I heard Tony said that he would borrow the universe currency. Wang Wai just took out 3 small space capsules. Each of these 3 small space capsules contained 100,000 universe currency. It should be enough. I don't know the price of the goods here. Exclamation mark. Looking at these 3 space capsules, Tony scratched his head and said, after all, in general, rare metal resources are very expensive. Tony doesn't know if the 300,000 cosmic currency is enough. Then increase it to 1 million for you. With a look, Wang Wai directly added the universe currency to Tony to a limit of 1 million. To be honest, for Wang Wai, something much like cosmic currency. There is no shortage at all. After Wang Wai conquered that Xia civilization, those cosmic currencies belonging to the Xia civilization were taken directly by Wang Wai. These cosmic currencies are only a few 100 million. After all, a small civilization can have hundreds of millions of cosmic currencies, which is already remarkable. Wang Wai also directly said that these cosmic currencies were handed over to Jiang Yan and Jiang Yu, and these two people also used these cosmic currencies to purchase some weird things from the universe. At the same time, I have sold a wave of special products that I can sell. Not to mention, at least the blood is not lost. Enough. These are definitely enough. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 253, It's Reasonable. Let's take it. 6 updates. Seeking subscription. Seeing the 10 space capsules that Wang Wai threw out casually, the little raccoon rocket on one side was completely lost. A space capsule the size of a medicine capsule, containing 100,000 cosmic currency. This is not the point. The point is, this guy threw $1 million away. It's just that some people said that they would borrow money to buy some metal resources. Rocket, whose eyes were already gleaming, looked at Tony's eyes, and quickly nodded and said, 1 million cosmic currency may not be a big deal in front of the boss, but in the Rocket's heart, it counts a lot. A pirate battleship is just tens of thousands of cosmic currency, even 100,000 cosmic currency, that's it. And this big boss just threw out a fleet, although it was a small pirate fleet. But that's also the pirate fleet. That's all right. Then let's go out for a stroll. While talking, Tony took Stephen and Dr. Banner directly and said that the 3 of them were strolling here. Are you 3 together? Seeing these 3 people get mixed up, Wang Wai's brows slightly raised. I always feel that these 3 guys are prone to things going together. A Dr. Banner who is prone to anger, a beautiful team with a sense of justice, a Tony Stark who is dedicated to taking care of his partner. These 3 people mixed together. If nothing happens, Wang Wai dared to live broadcast this planet with his bare hands. Well, what's the matter? Seeing Wang Wai's question, not only Tony was puzzled, but even the beautiful team Stephen was a little puzzled. What's wrong with the 3 of us being mixed together? Don't we have a problem with the 3 being mixed together? No problem. By the way, these things are for you. While talking, Wang Wai pulled out a suitcase between his back hands. There was something in the suitcase. In fact, they are nothing but mechanical soldiers stored in space capsules. It can be said that it was made by Wang Wai accidentally. But the only trouble is the issue of space retracting. This is as a result. She of this black suitcase looked up and asked. There were some mechanical soldiers inside. When something happens, let Friday connect directly to it. When the time comes, send out the mechanical soldiers directly, so you can run away. She looked ashamed of her own child. Wang Wai said seriously to Tony and others. Cooperating with you means we will do things, right? Hearing what Wang Wai said, whether it was Tony, Stephen, or Dr. Banner, the whole person was a little speechless. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Get up. No, I didn't mean that. I mean the 3 of you are in such a place, it is easy to have problems. Is not it? The smiling Wang Wai just looked at the 3 of them. And after the three guys also looked at each other, they finally didn't say anything. Very tacitly and directly gave the black suitcase to the next. The 3 people were full of counts. Tony looked at the other 2 guys, feeling helpless. A guy with a sense of justice, a guy who is extremely prone to anger, really needs this thing. And Stephen sees the other 2 guys are also very helpless in his heart. One is a troublesome playboy, the other is a madman who is easy to run away warrior. In the eyes of Dr. Banner, these 2 are not easy to get along with, an old soldier of World War II, and a playboy who is drunk with flowers. This situation, no matter how you look at it, you need it. The tacit understanding of these three guys. Wang Wai could only show that he didn't care and shrugged. In that box, Wang Wai not only put the soldiers in, but also put a signal receiver in it. Once this box is opened, the soldiers inside were activated. For the battleship in the Broken Star Zone, Moyu would receive the news. When the time comes, Moyu will come out to rescue such 3 hapless ones. As for whether this place can resist Moyu's attack, Wang Wei can only smile and say that Moyu can pick 100. This is betting. This is Wang Wei's confidence. What's more, on Moyu's battleship, there are a large number of mechanical soldiers stored. Seeing these 3 guys leave, the rockets rubbed their hands in front of Wang Wei with a little eyebrows. This looks like some money-greedy guys. What's wrong? Looking at the way the rockets looked like this, Wang Wei asked with some amusement. How weird the rockets are now. What a funny little guy. To be honest, Wang Wei prefers the young version of Groot to the rockets. Once he was a little interested in Marvel, and it was also because of this Groot. After all, the reason for being cute, very cute, isn't it? I don't know, Mr. Wang, do you intentionally hire us? Whether it is leading the way or doing it, we are all familiar with it. We have been in this place for years. After all, we rely on this to eat. While talking, Rocket smiled and rubbed his hands at Wang Wei. Chapter 254, Rocket, don't call me Little Raccoon, I hate this name. One more, seeking subscription. When Tony called Wang Wei's name before, Groot took care to write it down. As for calling it by name, it is impossible. After all, this is his future big boss. If you just call his name just like that, isn't it a bit unreasonable? It's better to be more respectful. Alright, but, your friend, forget it. Let him follow these few people. Madame, let's go to the place of my battleship. Wang Wei glanced at Groot, and smiled directly at the rocket. After all, the Prime-Age Rocket looked like a stupid uncle, not at all the cuteness of young Groot. I don't like it very much. All right. Looking at his partner, Groot, and at the women behind this Mr. Wang, the rocket nodded helplessly. No way, since the big boss said so. Then listen to the big boss first. Perhaps, this is a good big boss. After all, I can give people around me so much cosmic currency, and also give things that seem to be the same as self-protection. What do you think? This big boss is not a bad person, right? With such a thought, the rockets nodded directly at Groot. And Groot, who saw the rocket nodding, didn't hesitate, and walked directly behind the 3 women. Then, let's go, Little Raccoon. After taking a look at the slightly worried eyes of Rocket, Wang Wei waved his hand and said with a smile, Boss, I have a name. My name is Rocket. To be honest, I don't like people calling me like that. The raccoon, who had taken his weapon from Natasha's hand, walked towards the front step by step beside Wang Wei. While walking, he was still making complaints here. I'm so sorry, Rocket. Wang Wei, who was following the rocket, could see through everything. Directly see the inner itself of the little raccoon. A body that has been biochemically modified. Well, this transformation technique is really terrible. Nothing. Hearing Wang Wei's apology, Little Raccoon Rocket was stunned for a moment. Such people would also apologize. No wonder they have such strength and financial resources. This big boss, now follow. Looks good too. The Little Raccoon Rocket with a strange thought in his heart turned his head and took a look at Wang Wei. On the extremely calm face, he saw no expression. I couldn't help shrugging my shoulders slightly. Where are we going? To the boss. Walking in. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The Rocket Raccoon in front of Wang Wei asked directly, Let's go to a collector in this place first. I heard that he has a lot of good things. In his eyes, Wang Wei shone with a faint light, and a smile rose from the corner of his mouth. Before the collector has a certain power to protect it, the collector is a fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered. No one moves him, but it is not time to slaughter him. When the time comes, those who shelter others must also be the most vicious people wielding butcher knives against him. Pin your own safety on others. This is really not a very smart collector. Wang Wei's goal is that collector's position in this illegal zone. Pin one's own safety on the criminals in this illegal zone. Poor guy. Okay. But this collector just sent out a collection task. Hearing what Wang Wei said, as a skilled interstellar pirate, Little Raccoon Rocket nodded, took out a tablet directly from his body, and began to click again and again as if to gather information first. However, this information has not yet been collected, and Little Raccoon Rocket saw a collection mission by this collector. Regardless of the collection task, this is really a lot of money. While walking in this noisy environment, Wang Wei became more and more interested in this collector. Interesting, really interesting. It is said that the collections owned by this collector are rare items. I just don't know how rare this rare item can be. I rely on it. This gives so much commission in a certain starry sky. Inside a small single-person spaceship, a man with a sloppy beard was scanning the data on the panel in front of him. After seeing the data on the tablet, the shaggy man almost jumped up. 300,000 universe currency. Just for a strange ball. This collector really deserves to be an excellent rich man. I took this task. I can't be snatched away. Licking his slightly dry lips, the scruffy man took the task off in seconds. Only 10 people have a chance to receive this task 10 times. Once 10 waves of people receive this task, no one will be able to receive this task. As this scruffy man receives this after the mission, a burst of hurried sounds started to ring directly in the small spaceship. The man who saw this bell. The shaggy man frowned directly. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 255, Predator Pirate, Second More, seeking subscription, not good, very bad. This is a very bad idea. Why, old man? The ill-tempered, scruffy man rolled his eyes directly at the old guy on the opposite side. And on the other side of the screen, this is a man with blue skin, a slight beard, and a fin-like thing on his head. A touch of anger emerged. You bastard! Get me back! You bastard! Eat mine! Drink mine! I raised you, so you treat me like this. The finned man on the opposite side of the screen couldn't help but angrily want to beat up the scruffy man. Boss, don't be angry. The boss fights fire. Boy, get back quickly. On the opposite side of this screen, several cosmic pirates of different races directly stopped this fin man. He scolded the scruffy man. Come again. Here comes this kind of preaching again. The man with droopy eyelids and scruffy beard didn't want to say anything. I took a business here. Wait until I finish. I will go back. There was not much anger. The shaggy man directly hung up on this linking method. This bastard, in an unknown star-breaking zone, on a predator battleship, this finned man was angry all over. This bastard dare to look like this. I don't know if the storm is coming outside now. This finned man with anger on his face can't explain this kind of thing. But the idiot Xingj was hostile to him again. Headache. It's really a headache. What should I do if the boss just makes him wave outside, or, regardless if he is? How about getting him back on this predator battleship? These predators are not good guys. For Xingj, a guy who grew up on a predator battleship, he had more or less good feelings. After all, Xingj was grown up by themselves. But Xingju's detached character made them very unsatisfied. This guy, it's really looking for excitement. Although it is angry, the finned man still roared directly. This guy must be caught back. Can't let him go in vain outside. For this reason, these predators are very happy to catch it back. The next thing is go to this broken star zone for a turn. I heard, that guy is here. With his eyes squinted, Xingj drove directly in the direction of his employer. After all, want to get tasks. The premise is to know the mission destination of this ball. Otherwise, how to get the mission. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading while thinking about it. Xingju's heart was full of joy. I really don't know how difficult this task can be. But if you make enough money, you will pay the old man back. Then he patted his butt and left. As the real sorrow of the father in Marvel, Xingju was a little jumpy. There are all kinds of embarrassment in his heart. However, in front of this old man who cared about himself, Xingju still couldn't let go. Maybe. Broken Star Zone. Unlawful land. Is it here? After taking a look at the surrounding scenes, Wang Wei's mouth raised a slight smile. How to say this kind of place? Not too good. But it's not too bad. So, it just makes people dislike it a little bit. The dark side. This is their collector's place. While flipping the tablet in his hand, the Rocket explained to Wang why. He glanced at the photo on his tablet, and looked at his current position. The Rocket finally nodded and responded seriously. Let's go then. Let me see what good things this collector can collect. With a smile on his lips, Wang Wai walked directly towards this place. What good things can be collected? Welcome, sir. The master is inside. When Wang Wai took the little rocket raccoon and walked toward it, a girl with pale green skin wearing a slave collar, wearing a maid costume, bowed down respectfully to Wang Wai. Slave. This is a real slave, and is a strictly educated slave. Lead the way. After taking a look, the maid's Wang Wai nodded slightly. Although there was a little bit of curiosity, it could not arouse Wang Wai's interest. This maid, Wang Wai couldn't get much interest at all. This is the fact. Okay, sir, please. While talking, the maid greeted Wang Wai inward. Oh, my friend. You are welcome. With Wang Wai's arrival, a man wearing a coat that looked like a mink fur directly extended his hands to Wang Wai, a kind of imaginary hug. Show this man's heart vividly. The lamb to be slaughtered by the Nouveau Riche. This is Wang Wai's best evaluation of this collector. Oh, you can predict my arrival. His eyes picked up slightly. Wang Wai had a little accident at this time. You know, on Moyu's battleship, there are more than 10 virtual intelligences. Chapter 256, Sick Collector, 3 Watches, Seeking Subscription. In this case, these virtual intelligences. It's not just about doing things. It is also responsible for monitoring some things in the nearby star field. But it is like this. This collector actually knew that he was very interesting. I don't know. But I think your temperament, sir, does not look like an ordinary interstellar pirate. Right? Perhaps, we have a common topic. What do you say? The corner of his mouth raised slightly, and the collector laughed at Wang Wai. Perhaps there is a real common topic between us. Who knows? Wang Wai just smiled at the collector's rhetoric. Simply look at the banner on the person to distinguish the person. Then Wang Wai can only say that it's okay to be a collector. Your vision is still good. With a slight smile, Wang Wai directly turned his gaze to one side. Even with a good look, this collector cannot escape the fate of being slaughtered. Oh, sir, did you see this collection? As Wang Wai turned his gaze, the collector also introduced Wang Wai. This collection is nothing else. It is the body of a woman who placed it in a crystal coffin by this collector. It is suspected to be of the same race as the maid who greeted him at the door just now. But the difference is that this woman was sealed in this crystal coffin. Very interesting. Your evil tastes. Nodding slightly, Wang Wai didn't show what he liked. Just smiled at this guy. It's really interesting, just like some bragging kids. I also find it interesting. Look at this unwilling face. Look at this skin tone. Look at the look in these pupils. How perfect it is. What a pity. Why should she betray me, as her master? I can only choose to seal her in this coffin. It's like a sick guy. The collector couldn't help muttering to himself. Madman. This guy is a madman. The little raccoon next to Wang Wai. Rocket's whole person is not good. This collector of this look reminds Rockets of those crazy experimenters who modified themselves. Anyway, Rockets are very good to this kind of guy! So, if you only have this kind of collectibles, mine, would you mind using the weapon in his hand to make a hole in your head? While talking, Wang Wai pointed directly at the little raccoon standing next to him. Hearing what Wang Wai said, I saw the little raccoon with a disgusting face. Rocket. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The weapon in his hand is constantly folding and unfolding. Fold and unfold. With Wang Wai's order, this rocket made a hole directly in the collector's body. Disgusting guy. Okay, I have a lot of collections. But I think you want to see those after all. Collectibles are also divided into people. Slightly stunned, the collector smiled at Wang Wai. There is too much confidence in this smile. People who want to kill him don't know how many. But he can live to the present, relying on more than just his luck. It's even more about one's own strength. Something precious enough. With a slight squint, Wang Wai smiled directly at the collector. Anyway, Wang Wei couldn't remember very clearly. It seems that he is such a collector. In the original Marvel, it is a treasure he asked for, and this treasure is an infinite gem. It should seem. Wang Wei can't remember it anyway. If it is, then grab this gem directly. If not, then grab it. Kerry and Ronan of the Empire can get started in their own memory. No matter how bad it is, where it can go, it's just a matter of grabbing it for fun. Thinking like this, Wang Wei secretly thought about it. Is there any good things are the most important thing? Wang Wei doesn't mind at all being a looter in front of these interstellar pirates. What a shit civilized person. This good thing. I do. But you know, did not say anything. The collector leaned directly on the sofa behind him. That look. Either you take out your identity, or you take out a large amount of universe currency, or be able to take out something equivalent and come out. Among collectors, only 3 things are important. After all, collectors are rich people. But this rich man is not just talking. Oh, then I don't know if one of the 9 realms, is qualified or not. The corner of his mouth smiled slightly. Wang Wei smiled directly at the collector. The lord of one of the 9 realms. Is this qualification enough? You say you are the lord of one of the 9 worlds. I heard Wang Wei say this. The collector almost jumped up from the sofa in shock. Why, is there someone pretending to be my name? With a slight smile, Wang Wei sat directly on the other sofa. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Less than please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 257, Who Am I? One of the Lords of the 9 Realms. 4 changes/subscription. That lazy appearance, seemingly indifferent. Actually he wants to see who dared to pretend to be the lord of one of the 9 realms. I don't know, you are the lord of the 9 realms. He glanced at Wang Wei's expression. This collector's emotions are slightly reduced. He said directly to Wang Wei's respectful bow. The lord of one of the 9 realms. No matter which one came, it is all worthy of him being so respectful. After all, the lord of one of the 9 realms. What kind of reputation is this? You know, among the 9 realms, the masters of the Heavenly Father already have 2 of them. There are several masters at the level of Quasi-Father. With this kind of strength, a Quasi-Father level master can come out. It was enough to hang up their illegal place in the Broken Star Zone, let alone those masters of the Heavenly Father level. 9 realms, Umbrella World. Lord Wang Wei. It's like an announcement. It's like expounding the time. Wang Wei smiled directly at the collector in front of him. Seeing Wang Wei's smile, he was seeing Wang Wei's appearance. The collector couldn't help taking a breath. Wang Wei, one of the lords of the 9 realms. Is this the newly rising lord? How dare you leave the 9 realms? I heard Wang Wei's self-introduction. This collector is also an interesting person. Smile directly at Wang Wei. Oh, what's the solution in his eyes? Wang Wei, who was slightly interested, asked directly. You know, Kerry and the Empire have offered you a reward of 100 million cosmic currency. As long as we catch you. Kerry and the Empire paid 100 million directly. If you sell your whereabouts to those guys, they will directly pay 3 million cosmic currency. Wei paused. The collector poured himself a glass of red wine for Wang Wei and drank it directly. It seems that he is not interested in the money at all. Caught me. Just give 1 billion cosmic currency. Sell my whereabouts to the universe currency that can earn 10,000. Ha 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 ha. These guys. Interesting. Really interesting. Hear this kind of comments from collectors. Wang Wei couldn't help but laugh. A wild laugh. A brazen laugh. These guys are really interesting. Kerry and Empire. Lao Tzu didn't bother you, but he took the initiative to ask for my trouble. I really don't know how to live or die. I don't know the so-called. Then you, Mr. Collector. What do you think? After laughing, Wang Wei stared at the collector coldly. After all, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. What this guy says is very interesting. Isn't it possible to say this kind of thing in front of me? Ha 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 ha. I am not interested in these. For Kerry and Empire, I can avoid it. After all, Those guys are a group of greedy people. If you let them focus on me, then I think these collections of mine will definitely be taken by them." Shrugged slightly, the collector said seriously to Wang Wei. "After all, in the eyes of collectors, I'm the fat sheep in the eyes of people like Kerry and Empire. How could it appear in this person's eyes? Ha 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 ha. Very interesting. I suddenly found out that you are very interesting." He glanced at the collectors Wang Wei and smiled directly. "Interesting guy." How could it not interest Wang Wei? But interesting is interesting. A fat sheep is always a non-fat sheep. There is no escape. But I don't care about these. I care about another thing. The collector, who put down the wine glass in his hand, looked at Wang Wei with a serious look. "What about the other thing?" With a slight look in his eyes, Wang Wei asked directly. What Wang Wei didn't know was this moment. What a big wave was set off in the heart of the little raccoon rocket next to him. Kerry and the Empire issued a wanted order to capture his big boss alive. To be able to get 100 million cosmic currency, you only need to throw one's own position as the big boss. You can get 3 million cosmic currency. The boss is up. What did you do? Let Kerry and the Empire have such a deep hatred against you? Wouldn't you have dug the ancestral graves of Kerry and the Empire, although your heart is tumbling? But the little raccoon rocket decided to follow Wang Wei honestly. Since Wang Wei can make Kerry make such a big promise with the Empire, then presumably Wang Wei is not a common man anymore. But just now, the big boss himself seems to have said that he is a member of the Nine Realms. One of the Lords of the Nine Realms. Oh shit! The rocket's eyes that suddenly woke up with starlight. Shoot Wang Wei directly. In the starlight, there is no way to say that it is worship. Aha, what does it seem? Anyway, big boss. Newbie is over. The moment he made up his mind to hold the little raccoon rocket into Wang Wei's thigh strengthened his heart even more. Just hug it into the thigh of one of the Nine Realms. Then, how will it be? It's not that I have the final say. Huh. Tell me, where is your curious point? His eyes picked up slightly. Chapter 258. This is not counseling. This is from the heart. 5 change/subscription. Allow Wang Wei to do things of interest. Not much. After all, to the point of Wang Wei. With the continuous development of the forces under him, there are only infinite gems. And beat the tyrant. Demolish things like Kerry and the Empire. Only then can Wang Wei feel some interest. I seem to remember, Thanos, one of the overlords of the universe. I once said it. As long as you are in addition to the Nine Realms, then, he will hunt you down from your body. Take away the infinite gems. But what makes me curious is, where did you get the infinite gems? Infinite gem. What is it like? Can you show me insight? It's like sickness. The collector slammed his face in front of Wang Wei. Following the collector's slamming face, Wang Wei directly stretched out a foot. Desperately resist the collector who wants to face up. Thanksgiving infinite gems want to grab. Haha. Hear this kind of rhetoric from collectors. Wang Wei's whole person was a little hee. Damn thing. I didn't bother you. Nothing to find you. You are actually trying to grab this infinite gem from my hand. Are you floating? Although Lao Tzu is only a 3-generation divine body now, there is no infinite treasure house of angel civilization to act as follow-up energy. But you still have the ability to fight. You sure want to see the power of infinite gems? His eyes narrowed slightly. Wang Wei stared coldly at the collector in front of him. He did not deny that he has infinite gems in his hands. Instead, he asked directly, "You want to see the infinite gems? Then, here is the question. Do you have that capital?" Under Wang Wei's cold eyes, the somewhat perverted collector was an exciting spirit on the spot. After suddenly thinking of Wang Wei's identity, the collector stunned. Secondly, damn, I can't afford it. The lord of one of the Nine Realms. It was the guy who was targeted by Thanos, one of the overlords of the universe. This kind of person, play with a hammer. I can't afford it. No, I don't want to. Sir, you are wrong. It's me who lost my mind. While talking, the collectioner regressed weakly. In front of Wang Wei, He was just a collector of lawbreakers in the Smashing Star Zone. People are the masters of one of the orthodox 9 realms. The difference in identities has directly separated the two. Hello? Is anyone here? Just when this collector is going backwards, a dangling voice came directly from outside the collector's door, and the collector who heard this voice felt as if he had found a savior. I'm very sorry, sir. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. I still have something to do. You sit down first. While talking, the collector backed out. Originally, things like welcoming guests. It's my little mate's business. But the collector was too persuaded in front of Wang. Why? This guy is too frightening. Leave first. I am not counseling. I'm from my heart. Oh, friend. I don't know what you are here for. Looking at the silly guy in front of him, there is no obvious change on the collector's facial expression. Just looking at this guy with a smile. I took your mission here. While talking, Xingqiu directly showed his next task from the panel to the collector for a look, and the collector who saw this task instantly understood. This is a character he released just a while ago. Take something from the planet Shankander. Okay, I will leave this task to you. I leave everything to you. While talking, the collector took the look of the thing, and some addresses, etc. were passed to Xingqiu via the internet. In addition, this is a deposit. 50,000 universe currency. Please take it. I hope later I can see this thing. The corner of his mouth smiled slightly. With a slight glance, Wang Wei's collector's heart is constantly rolling. Infinite gems. This is an infinite gem. It is said that there is an infinite gem in this thing. As long as you can get this thing in your hand, then oneself will be able to own an infinite gem. The thought of this made the collector's heart boil. The joyful expression on the face can't stand it. Okay, this place is really not a good place. See this positioning of the planet Shankander. Xingqiu's face couldn't help but was slightly shocked and unsightly. The planet Shankander is a civilized planet. For predators, they basically have wanted warrants belonging to them. It's unfortunate. This Star Lord has his own wanted warrant on the planet Shankander. Trouble. But trouble is trouble. Xingqiu is still happy to take over this task. That's okay. Then I'm leaving the boss. With a slight wave of his hand, Xingqiu directly resigned with the collector. The mission Strange Ball is interesting. Planet Shankander. Interesting. Wang Wei leaned lazily on the sofa with a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. Between Wang Wei's pupils, the data waterfall is constantly scrolling, and in this, it was this collector's deal with Xingqiu just now. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 259, Another Infinite Gem, 6 updates, seeking subscription. As long as Wang Wei thinks, Wang Wei was able to invade these networks in an instant. The online world is vulnerable to Wang Wei. In this online world, the Super God universe is more fun than anyone else. People have directly made this kind of virtual network molecular structure. Do things directly from the molecules. Talk about it. What is a strange ball? Looking at the collectors coming back here. Wang Wei did not hesitate at all, said directly to the collector with a smile. I heard Wang Wei's remarks. The collector is stunned. My cow, eldest brother. How do you know my reward task just sent out? Looking at Wang Wei's cold eyes. Even collectors have all kinds of excuses. In the end, he said it honestly in front of Wang Wei. Don't say it, can't it? Don't say it. Wang Wei also wants him to say it. Just because he is the lord of one of the 9 realms. This is the identity and status. That strange ball I learned by accident. It is said that there is a power in it. But what? I am not very clear about it myself. Just guessing that there is an infinite gem inside. It's that infinite gem. I am not sure. He shook his head slightly. In front of Wang Wei, the collector finally chose to surrender. He told all the things he knew. Infinite gems. You can be sure. Hear what this collector said. Wang Wei raised his brows slightly. Infinite gems, if you really want to count it. Within the sphere of influence of the 9 realms, I already have 3 infinite gems. An etheric particle swallowed by the void engine. That is, the reality gem plus the space gem placed on top of the blue star by Wang Wei, and the gem of time in the hands of the Supreme Master Yi. There are 3 gems in total. What kind of gem is this gem revealed? Wang Wei has no idea. I don't know. My guess is that it is very likely to be an infinite gem. Is it specific? I don't know, with a hint of uncertainty. This time, Wang Wei nodded and said, "The collector who can only pretend to be in front of Wang Wei knows Wang Wei and speaks endlessly." "No way. Who is the boss?" "Shankander planet." "Rocket, let's go." With a slight smile at the corner of his mouth, Wang Wei directly yelled to the rocket, who was in a daze. Followed Wang Wei to get up. The little raccoon sitting on one side of the sofa, Rocket also quickly recovered. "Oh, here it is." While talking, the rocket jumped off the sofa. Planet Shankander here. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Wang Wei said so. The collector appeared bitter. "Sure enough, in front of these big people, I still can't be too arrogant, or this thing. It's not something you can touch at all." Infinite gems. What a charming treasure. What a pity. But it's not his own. With Wang Wei's departure, the collector is in this room, and the whole person is lying there directly like a salted fish. It seems to be an infinite gem. "Do you have a star map of Shankander?" After leaving this collector's residence, Wang Wei suddenly asked the rocket next to him. It seems that he did not have a star map. There are still some star maps of Shankander. Nodded. The rocket was taken aback for a moment and responded to Wang Wei. "As a pirate, if there is not a star map with enough weight in this universe, there is the possibility of being pursued anytime and anywhere. This possibility is something no pirate would accept. Let's go." Wang Wei, who did not respond directly, chose to walk in the direction of the planet Shankander. As for the members of the Avengers, let them wave. Anyway, Shinzo Nagama seems to be about to reach this broken star zone. "Hey, Tony, look at this thing walking in this mixed place." Steven directly pulled Tony to the side and looked over. "What?" Tony, who was a little puzzled, followed Steven's direction and looked directly. With Steven's guidance, whether it is Tony, it was Dr. Banner who cast his eyes on the past. At this Steven's guide, Tony and Dr. Banner looked at Steven with weird faces, and subconsciously distanced himself from Steven. "Look at your hammer." These 2 extraterrestrial creatures are playing in the animal world under this huge crowd. "I see your uncle." "Go." Taking a look at this Tony's face turned dark, and he walked straight ahead. Following Tony's words, Dr. Banner left here with a smile on his face. At the same time, he patted Steven on the shoulder and smiled and said, "I still have a little cosmic currency here. If you need it, I can buy you a chance or two." "Let you try." "Roll." His face went dark. Steven spit out such a word directly to Dr. Banner. "Try your uncle." Obvious species mismatch. Even their humanoid type is fine. But this kind, "Let me play you ass." Steven with a sweaty face started teasing with Dr. Banner directly. "Hey, I said you're a price tag, but you know the price." Chapter 260, Steven, Your Curious Hobby, One More, Seeking Subscription. At this time, Steven was joking with Dr. Banner. Tony communicated with another vendor in front, but in this communication, there was obviously a trace of anger. Tony was very angry. "This guy wants to kill them." "Hey, brother, you can't say that. You know me. This is a rare metal element. You also know the value of this kind of thing. How can you say that I sit on the ground and start the price? Could it be that you can't afford it?" This other alien creature, with a playful smile, said directly to Tony with a smile. "You guy, I do not want it." Turning dark, Tony chose not to let this thing go. "This thing is absolutely fucking obviously not worth the price. I have to set a price for myself. If it wasn't for Moyu to connect the data to himself, I might be slaughtered for some reason." "Don't do that. It's not enough, brother." "Here I am. I have never said that I don't want it. Today, you don't want it, you want it too. At this price, I will add another 20% to you. This is to increase your memory." Smashed Star Zone. It's not a good place. Obviously strong buying and selling. This alien placed his weapon directly on this table. Around this appearance creature, There are dozens of alien creatures surrounding it. If you don't buy it, we just want you to sell it. This is a little troublesome now. The corners of Tony's mouth that saw this scene twitched slightly, and he looked at Tony's appearance. Stephen and Dr. Banner also walked to Tony's side one after another. After all, these cosmic currencies in them were all given to them by Wang Wai. Even if Wang Wai didn't say anything, they also know the gold content of this universe's currency. If these guys were to be slaughtered so fiercely, they would never agree. Isn't it just a fight? Who is afraid of who? A little eager Stephen Wu looked at each other with a provocative expression. No discussion? Pushing his eyes on the bridge of his nose, Chiyo looked at the guy in front of him and asked with a serious look, "Discussion, kid? Did you make a mistake here? Discussion requires strength. Before you had no strength. Can only endure it." Ha 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 ha. Unscrupulous. For these stall owners, who is an old bird? They know who is a rookie. The newly arrived Tony and others are the prey on these guys' faces. Which kind of hunter I am rich. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading things. Just because of what Tony and others want to see. Too clear. Too purposeful. There is no way to. Although I don't like this very much, but the difficulty of making money with this universe currency is much greater than the margin we use. After all, cosmic currency, this kind of thing. We have it. While smiling, Tony looked back at Stephen, who was a little eager to try, and Dr. Banner, who gradually took off his glasses. It doesn't matter. Wang Wai had already expected this situation. While talking, Stephen of the American team directly reached out and pressed a button on his body. As the button is pressed, the nano cross-dressing directly wrapped the American team Stephen directly. This technique, it was Tony Stark's benefits to the reunion members. In a short time, the US team Stephen directly threw a space capsule out. His own shield appeared directly in his hand. This kind of thing doesn't matter. But Hulk said he hasn't come out for a long time. While talking, Dr. Banner handed his glasses to Tony Stark. The whole figure began to turn green and went crazy. The clothes on the upper body began to tear apart. Hulk, go. Hands. These guys. Do you want to buy something? See the look of these two guys opposite. How could this vendor's alien not know the situation? Now it's time to fight. Okay, since you want to do it, then I won't do it. While talking, Tony shrugged and directly held Dr. Banner's glasses in his hand. In this small-scale battle, two of them are enough. Raw. Hulk, who was released, saw these aliens. The whole person couldn't help getting excited. After all, for Hulk, smashing these tenacious aliens is more interesting than anything. With the shaking of the muzzle, these aliens started shooting directly in the downtown area. The laser beams shot directly at Tony's three people. However, Tony didn't put on his suit, but the magic bracelet on the wrist was directly activated. Waves of magic light surrounded Tony's body. The laser stopped directly in front of Tony. Who dares to make trouble here with the American team Stephen and Hulk shooting down all these dozens of aliens? Teams of pirate soldiers drove directly from a distance. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 261, Tony, we have been fished. Second update, seeking subscription. Above the sky, there are dozens of air motorboats flying. I'm going. Is this kind of illegal guards coming so fast? Looking at these is almost equivalent to the guards of these illegal areas that were killed in an instant. Stephen's face changed directly. It would be much better if the guards from the Eagle Jiang family on Blue Star arrived faster than these guys. How long is it? 5 minutes or 3 minutes? But at such a speed, these guys have already arrived. Obviously, we were fished. Looking at the aliens on the ground who were crawling to one side, Tony shrugged unceremoniously and said with a smile, "In this case, if you use your brain a little, you will understand. Put down the weapon in your hand. Accept our investigation, otherwise we will wipe you out on the spot." With a roar, the guards of this team's space zone directly roared at Tony and others. Under the translation of this multifunctional translator, Tony heard this and looked directly at the two partners next to him. What to do? Stephen, who returned to Tony's side, was still a little wary of the defensive power of these illegal areas. Not to mention, these guys are all equipped with various technological equipment. Seeing Stephen has a headache, Stephen said it was 50-50. But that also applies to situations where Stephen can spar science and technology equipment. Go and ask. I want to tear them down. Hear the roar of these garrison pirates. The Hulk bumped his fists gently. A kind of Lao Tzu was very upset, and the thought of wanting to tear down these guys was entwined in the head of Hulk. What else can I do? Ready to kill. Don't forget how many universe currencies Wang Wai gave us. Do you think that after we accept their investigation, the universe currency can still be retrieved? After all, what we use now is cash. While talking, Tony shrugged. Millions of cosmic currencies, no matter where they are placed, will make people feel heart-wrenching. Not to mention the criminals in these criminal areas. Okay, let's fight. Stephen, who shrugged slightly, prepared himself wholeheartedly. Fighting this kind of thing, these guys really haven't been afraid of it, haven't counseled Hulk. Hearing the meaning of the battle, Hulk grabbed a nearby stone and smashed it forward. Fire, fire. Kill them all. With Hulk dash, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Action. The pirate garrison on the opposite side directly started firing. It's really fast enough. Seeing Hulk's movements, Tony didn't hesitate at all, and directly activated the nano armor on his body. After all, it was stimulated by Wang Wai's technology. This Tony has already put the nano warframe on the agenda. It's only recently that the trial production has been completed. Request support. Request support. The other party is 3 outsiders. Destroy here. Request support. Just fired. The members of the pirate garrison began to request support from the people behind them. When the pirate garrison officially opened fire, the pirates who were onlookers around here, the predators began to evade. When the masters of this illegal zone began to show their military power, they don't care who you are. Trouble. The army of these guys is coming. Seeing this scene, Tony smiled and said to his two little friends in this nano armor, then prepare to run. After all, this place is crowded with people, and it's not our home court. While photographing the alien pirate in front of him, Stephen smiled and said to his little friend in the headset, that said, then prepare to run away. Prepare everything. I will release those mechanical soldiers. While talking, Tony looked at the pirate warships gradually surrounding him. Why Tony didn't understand. Now this situation is for them. It's really uncomfortable. Yeah, let me contact Moyu. While talking, Stephen wandered through the battlefield, speaking into the headset. It's a pity I haven't gotten some rare metal elements yet. Otherwise, a battle suit made of some rare metal elements will surely be much stronger. In his eyes, Tony, with a slight pity, smiled and said to his two little friends here, hey, you can find Wang Wai when the time comes. He has so many resource planets in his hands. I am afraid that there are not enough rare metal elements. Some Titan-like Hulks directly roared. Although they were roaring, it was the laser weapons that made Hulk a little uncomfortable. Special mother, this thing hurts when hitting her body. No matter what. Looking back for Wang Wai to ask for a suit of battle clothes, Taihan Hulk thought like this directly in his heart like a child. And Dr. Banner, who gave Hulk control of his body, was a bit speechless. Chapter 262, Dear Tony, 3 changes, seeking subscription. You think it's weirdly simple. At that time, this kind of thing is not for me to speak up and ask you to be a little bastard. For Hulk, although Dr. Banner is a bit swearing, after a period of getting along, Dr. Banner also accepted Hulk. It's just a kid with a little grumpy temper. Just share a body with yourself, able to have a certain degree of self-protection ability when necessary. Anyway, Dr. Banner can't hate Hulk anymore. Fuck off. I don't want rare metal resources from Wang Wai. My Tony, even if I die here, even robbing from this illegal zone, I will not ask Wang Wai for rare metal resources. As soon as I heard that I had to talk to Wang Wai, I needed a rare resource. Tony just couldn't accept it. This is Tony's last pride. He can accept Wang Wai's technological intervention, and he can also accept Wang Wai's knowledge sharing. But all of this was exchanged by Tony for his military merits. In helping Wang Wai with crusade missions, Tony has always been the person who thought most of Wang Wei's troops. It is precisely because of this that the soldiers who followed Tony had the least losses. However, if you want to reach out and take the rare metal resources from Wang Wei, I don't. I even said these cosmic currencies in hand are all Tony secretly decided to borrow from Wang Wei. I miss him, Tony. He is also a person who has an identity and wants face. Hey, hear Tony's arrogant response. Hulk just smiled and didn't say anything. After all, for these guys, Hulk is already familiar. Some people are very clear about their temperament and disposition. In Hulk's size, Tony is now just like my little friend. People can't help but want to make fun of, don't laugh, ready to run. These guys really want to keep us here. After contacting Moyu, Stephen looked at the pirate guards in the illegal land in the Broken Star Zone that were constantly killing. The whole person is a little weird. This is being watched, and it is really being watched. It looks like it is. But how long do we have to wait? With a slight squint, Tony and Banshee understood that they were being watched. Holding millions of cosmic currencies at hand, swinging in this place. This feels like the aimless wandering of billions of cash in a certain area. And he's still a newcomer with a stupid face. The same. If you don't get caught in this way, it's only the blame. It takes 2 minutes. Moyu said. She wants to drive the warship over from the Broken Star Zone. It's easy to shoot. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. An energy bomb that was thrown over. Stephen smiled and explained to Tony. 2 minutes, then fight him for 2 minutes. Shrugged. Tony rejected the battle. But it doesn't mean Tony can't fight. Hey. While talking, Stephen directly cleaned up some of the soldiers who rushed up nearby. As for Hulk, he was pulling things frantically and smashing people. For Hulk, smashing people is the happiest thing in his life. These guys. It's really difficult. After fighting for a minute or so, Stephen suddenly smiled at Tony and said, "This novel is first published by Dragon QQ 4929238872. Don't be fooled by other fakes. Unique fellow novel backup group 672,171,357 fellow novel internal group 1,142,529,731 fellow novel internal group 2,929,082,961 more exciting fellow novels are in the hands of the owner. Welcome to the group. I hope you will not be fooled by those deceptive groups. Attachment. This work comes from the internet and published books. The work is only for readers' preview. Please delete it within 24 hours of downloading. It must not be used for commercial purposes. If you think this book is good, please buy a genuine book. Thank you for your support." Key points. I hope I can keep this paragraph when reprinted. It's a bit hard to organize, but retention is a virtue. It's difficult, like a dogskin plaster. Wait when it's difficult. With eyelids, Tony said in an angry tone. The happiest in this battle is Stephen and Hulk. Hulk. Suddenly, Hulk jumped up. An alien who was about to sneak in was smashed to the ground. As the alien was smashed to the ground, Hulk stared at this guy solemnly. "What's the matter, Hulk?" Seeing that Hulk ignored those guys who were like flies, Stephen came directly to Hulk with his shield in his hand. "Dangerous." This guy. He narrowed his eyes slightly, and Hulk looked at the guy in front of him solemnly. "Dangerous." That is to say, upon hearing what Hulk said, Stephen directly turned his defensive focus to the alien, who was smashed into the ruins. The guy who can be named a dangerous name by Hulk has the least combat effectiveness and is quasi-destroyed. You know, Hulk used to fight against the Star Destroyer Azar. It is precisely because of this that their Avengers don't mind following Wang Wei everywhere. I don't mind running around with Wang Dong. In order to improve strength, the members of their Avengers can have an extinction star, not much combat power. Hulk, Wanda, and Thor. Except for these 3 guys, none of the others have the combat effectiveness of destroying stars. They were hungry for strength, while following Wang Winan to fight in the north, while trying to improve their strength. If these guys speak, Wang Wei is absolutely happy to improve the strength of these guys. Unfortunately, these guys have their own ideas one by one. If you can do it yourself, you must do it yourself. What is the ability to let Wang Wei take the initiative and simply leave the Avengers directly and go to the Umbrella Group to make 1,000 employee contracts? Forget it. Trouble. It actually attracted the combat power of the Extinction Star. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 263, Tony, Quick Release Mechanical Soldiers, 4 more, seeking subscription. With a slight eyelid, Tony took the suitcase directly in his hand. At any time, it is possible to release the large number of mechanical soldiers in this suitcase that have been packed in the space capsule. Tony is confident that even if he is a Star Destroyer, once he encounters these mechanical soldiers, it will be difficult. When the time comes, it is time for them to get out. I'm coming soon. Outside the lawless zone, Moyu was driving his warship to fly over the lawless zone, and everyone in the headset also heard Moyu's words. You guys, it's really a bit capable. The alien who was smashed into the ruins shook his head. He stood up directly. You should stay here honestly. While talking, the alien creature slowly walked up towards Tony and others. It's now. Seeing the battleship above it became more and more obvious. Tony directly opened all the suitcases in his hands. Boom. A short moment. The raging tide of soldiers poured out directly from the suitcase. The moment these mechanical soldiers appeared, they were directly connected to the internet on Friday. The battle began. One by one, the mechanical soldiers started hunting on the spot, or call it anti-hunting. Compared with the number, the mechanical soldiers have never been cancelled. Go. With Tony's low roar, dozens of flying mechanical soldiers directly dragged the American team Steven and the Fat Green Hulk to fly directly. Don't want to go. Seeing this scene, the quasi-star alien creature roared, killed directly in the direction of Tony and others. Unfortunately, when this alien creature came over, a wave of soldiers directly rushed towards this quasi-destroying star alien creature. There is no fear of life and death, no death. This is the mechanical war soldier. On the ground, on the sky, no matter how many pirate guards, they were all held back by this mechanical soldier. There are even a large number of mechanical soldiers, like a magnet hitting an iron block, swarming towards the guy who is quasi-destroying star. Is this a battle? Some dumb Moyu looked at Tony and others who were sent up by dozens of machines. I saw the battlefields covered by mechanical soldiers below. With such a small temper, Moyu would not engage in the deep-sea fleet on the spot. Deep-sea warship mothers are not good-looking. If you get along well, how can you be able to ask anyone who infringes on your territory without asking you to go up and do it? Because in their consciousness, when you come to my territory, you just come to grab my site. I have to beat you down. Same thing. You bullied my person. You are bullying me. You bullied me. I'm going to beat you to the ground. Bang, bang, bang. An energy cannon is directly attacked by this Moyu. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Stretched out from the ship, although these energy cannons are not much, but it can't stand the technological power contained in it. The simplest description, that is, 3 seconds to charge up. It is enough to kill and quasi-kill the existence of stars. The alien creature that was entangled by the huge number of mechanical soldiers on the ground felt bad. The threat posed by that battleship in the sky is too great, but can't escape. Boom, boom, boom. With dozens of energy cannons firing, the pirate garrison above the ground was directly annihilated by the artillery fire. Even the quasi-destructive star alien creature that was killed by a large number of mechanical soldiers. It was even spotted by several energy cannons. Immediately die now, I'll go. Is this firepower so fierce? Steven and the others, who had just stepped on the battleship, watched Moyu directly wipe out the numerous pirate garrisons on the ground. The whole person couldn't help but smashed his mouth slightly. Strong. This is really strong. Nonsense. This is Wang Wai's car. If the firepower is not fierce, believe it or not, those generals of Umbrella can spray those engineers to death. Eyelid a little. Tony was speechless directly facing Steven. This kind of firepower, wherever it is, if the firepower is not fierce, hundreds of generals in Umbrella will definitely go directly into the Academy of Engineering, and then push the heads of those engineers into the toilet. We seem to be surrounded. Dr. Banner, who was gradually recovering, looked at the dense red dots on the radar. The whole person is a bit bad. Dr. Banner took a cursory look. There are probably hundreds of these red dots. Hundreds of Predator spacecraft, pirate spacecraft, pirate battleship. This level is a bit worrying. Moyu, stop playing. We are surrounded. Deeply know Moyu's cute character Sue. Pull Moyu directly. Don't let Moyu worry about the battle target on the ground. They are now surrounded. Ah, look at me. Sit down. A little surprised, Moyu directly prepared to control this battleship wholeheartedly. After hearing Moyu's words, everyone would do well if they could do well. If you can wear a seat belt, wear a seat belt. It was too late, so I just grabbed the things next to me tightly. The battle has started. With an innocent smile on his face, Moyu directly chose to turn on the function. On this battleship, several intelligent lifeforms proficient in combat fire control operations entered their combat positions. Chapter 264, Stephen, don't say it, it's very cruel. 5 changes, seeking subscription, boom, boom, boom. At this moment, Moyu is like a racing car blessed with a phlegm charge, directly starting to play extreme drift in this encirclement. And those intelligences use their own skilled fire control operating system. In this extreme drift, he caused fatal injuries to the opponent. Boom, boom, boom. Brilliant fireworks. It exploded directly in the air. Even more expensive artillery fire was poured directly onto the ground. Unlawful place. This time, he was directly slaughtered by Moyu. Dozens of ships taking off in the air. Hundreds of spaceships and battleships are all regarded as meteors, fall directly. And those places on the ground are even more riddled with artillery fire. It's all over. Let's go. After looking at this area, there is no opponent that can fight. Moyu patted his little hand, looking at the guys around him innocently. At this moment, the members of the Avengers also had a real experience of Moyu's terrorist fighting ability. Strong, really too strong. So, where are we going next? Steven swallowed a bit of saliva and asked Moyu directly. A battleship lay down abruptly, and there were dozens of nearly 100 spaceships and battleships opposite. It's not too late. The ground is shattered to pieces. No wonder the old man once said it. In this world, there are 3 kinds of people that cannot be messed with: old people, women, and children. Unfortunately, Moyu has 2 types: woman and child. I don't know. The Admiral didn't tell me where to go. When he said this, Moyu frowned. After all, Wang left on a small rocket ship. I haven't had time to explain where these guys are going. Just tell Moyu to take care of Tony and the others. Then where are we going? Shocked, everyone was dumbfounded. It's impossible to stay here wherever we go. After all, we demolished each other's home. If you are staying here, refers to domestic violence. Will it come out directly? I ran away after the fight. Don't be bragging about it and wait for a shuttle to us. Do not know. Look at the way these people are. Tony couldn't help covering his face. How come I am a partner with these guys? One by one, can't worry about it? Well, if I remember correctly, when we left, General Ling Yang said that he would send Nagama Shinzo to this place. It stands to reason that after we have been here for such a period of time, Shinzo Nagama is about to arrive. Let's go find him. While talking this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Tony thought slightly. After all, Tony still knows a little bit about Shinzo Nagama's tasks. It seems to say that Shinzo Nagama should be arranged to be a pirate in this pirate camp. In this way, they can more or less mix military skills. After all, the Avengers have the external organization of the Umbrella Army. At that time, the military merits will be achieved. Where to go to an umbrella to redeem a little tech tree? Understand and understand. Not to mention Umbrella's tech tree. It really made Tony a little envious. After all, that kind of knowledge is no longer something that an ordinary person can accomplish. Okay, it can only be like this. Hearing Tony's remarks, everyone nodded slightly. But, I don't know where General Jinsen is in Longma. After everyone discussed it, Moyu suddenly spoke to everyone. No. Hearing Moyu's response, Tony feels a bit bad all over. I don't know where Shinzo Nagama is. Then play with a hammer. Contact information. No. Under Tony's nervous expression, Moyu said calmly, Then who do you have contact information? Tony, who couldn't help covering his face, said to Zumo, I have the contact information of the Southern Deep Sea Fleet's flagship, Southern Master. I still have contact information in Star Fortress, and the contact information of Umbrella World, and the contact information of Red Alert Planet. There is also the contact information of Broken Star Channel, and the contact information on Blue Air Star. Oh, right. I also have the contact information of the Admiral. Then it's gone. Like a few treasures. So General. Moyu shook his fingers while explaining to Tony, Stephen and others. It's a bit uncomfortable now. Star map. Is there a star map? Tony, who had a slight toothache, asked Moyu directly. There is a star map. Can you understand the star map? As soon as I hear the star chart, Tony couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Okay. Fortunately, the star map has it. Otherwise, I really want to cry. Moyu, then open the star map and let me see. Has the intellectual responsibility in this small team? Tony directly asked Moyu to open the star map. As Moyu opened the star map, Tony made a comparison and estimated. Finally decide their destination. To read the ununderlined version of the novel, please download fellow novel less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 265, Go. Bring back infinite gems. 6 updates/subscription, let's go here. While talking to Tony, he pointed to the location of this planet and said to everyone, and everyone is ignorant and ignorant. All nodded silently. What you say means who is responsible for your intelligence? After seeing the crowd, Moyu directly dragged this position directly into the navigation system. Let's go. Amidst Moyu's cheerful expression, everyone moved towards the planet where Shinzo Nagama is bound to come. The news of infinite gems has been discovered. Where the lawless place in the Broken Star Zone. Who is going? I'll go, father. In the fleet of Thanos, a green girl bowed respectfully to Thanos. There is another girl in front of this green girl. A girl with light blue skin. These two women, they were treated like wolf pups who hated each other by Thanos. Hostile to each other. For Thanos, this kind of thing can be said to be created by him. Go. Bring me back infinite gems. Looked at the woman with green skin. Thanos nodded slightly. In Thanos' heart, it was his lifelong pursuit to annihilate half of the creatures in the universe. It was also a gift he gave to the goddess of death. No one can covet the goddess of death. No one. Yes, father. Hearing Thanos' instructions, this green-skinned woman rushed to the lawless place in the Broken Star Zone alone, and with the departure of this green-skinned woman, the corners of the woman's mouth with light blue skin, a slight smile appeared. Go. Don't come back. Where is Ronan? With the departure of this pale green girl, Thanos suddenly asked the 5 generals under his command. My lord. Ronan is about to reach the lawless place in the Broken Star Zone. With a humble expression, he respectfully bent down in front of Thanos and responded in a low voice. For Thanos's operation, Ebony Throat doesn't understand. But there is no need to ask Ronan to bring back the infinite gems. Now I want one of my adopted daughters to bring back the infinite gems. And hearing this pale blue girl with an ebony throat, her eyes trembled slightly. I want my sister to be a bait. This place is really not ordinary. As the spacecraft descended on the port of the planet Shankander, Jin Chen raised his brows slightly. This is a mature and modern city. It is also a modern interstellar city. Interstellar planet. It is completely different from the previous Isaiah technology planets similar to the feudal dynasty. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading over the planet. What Jin Chen saw was a vibrant atmosphere. Above the planet Isaiah, the knowledge that Jin Chen saw was lifeless. Of course, it is incomparable with your own Red Alert planet. After all, the Red Alert planet has a lot of green vegetation. Looking at it from a distance, it is like a planet surrounded by forest. Among them, there are technologies of large and small to continuously beautify and restore the Red Alert planet. Wang had already given instructions. No matter how many resource planets are wasted, it is extremely necessary to repair this Red Alert planet. After all, in Wang heart, the Red Alert planet is his first planet. The significance of this value is far beyond the ordinary. Yeah, the Shankander are a peace-loving race in the universe. Of course, it would be great if they could revoke my wanted warrant. While talking, the rocket used his tablet to directly kill according to the network coordinates given by Wang. Why? Infinite gems. My boss wants it, then I must work hard to get him. After all, his boss is the noble master of one of the 9 realms. This status is not worthy of infinite gem jokes. Yes, muttering to the rockets. Wang Wai just smiled. Wanted orders are optional. After all, his identity is one of the lords of the 9 realms. Just ahead. While talking, the rocket directly led Wang Wai towards a city on the planet Shankander. This city is the capital of the planet Shankander. A well-known civil servant walked back and forth in the Shankander Interstellar Defense Center. Report. Say, according to the report of the immigration personnel, suspected lord of one of the 9 realms, lord of the umbrella world. Wang Wai, Mr. Wang has reached our planet Shankander. Following the report of this clerk, the one who is the commander of the Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Center. The girl frowned slightly. The lord of one of the 9 realms, lord of the umbrella world. Wang Wai, you sure? He raised his brow slightly. The lady of the commander of the Interstellar Defense Center directly questioned. After all, this kind of thing is not small. 9 realms. It has a lot of status in this Marvel universe. If the lord from one of the 9 realms arrives, their planet Shankander would not give a good reception. Then it's a bit unreasonable. At that time, there may be some twists and turns in the establishment of diplomatic relations with Juji. This is how the immigration personnel report. Chapter 266. You are honest. One more. Seeking subscription. As soon as I heard this girl's rhetorical question, the clerk became speechless in his heart. I can be sure of a ghost. This is the report of the immigration administrator. I know a hammer. I came to report to you. If I can be sure, I am not a small clerk. Well, let me call out some information about him. Why thought about it a bit. This Shankander Interstellar Defense Commander directly ordered the people around him. Welcome the guests. Can you let go? Broken Star Zone. Unlawful place. The collector's maid just opened the door. The pale green-skinned girl directly pinched the maid's neck fiercely. Looks like a killing soldier. Where is your master? Glanced at the maid. This The pale green-skinned woman asked indifferently. Master. The master is inside. Can you let go of the guests first? The maid, who responded with difficulty, said to the girl with pale green skin. Is it here? Broken Star Zone, the starry sky of the lawless land. Looking at this slightly messy outer area, Ronan, sitting in the battleship, frowned slightly. After all, surrendering yourself was at the gate of the 9 realms, and the Broken Star area was attacked by a mysterious person. This group of mysterious people, after Ronan returned to Kerry and the Empire, after a detailed investigation, in the end, it was discovered that it was the lord of one of the 9 realms, lord of the umbrella world. Wang Wai's people. This made Ronan bit his teeth. I'm tired of fucking. I should have nothing to do with your umbrella world, right? I just killed most of my net worth and life. The victimized Lozi fled back in embarrassment because of the loss of 3,000 battleships. Ronan's prestige in this Kerry and Empire has been greatly reduced. It even made some of the generals who took refuge in him a little shaky. Although a little angry, Ronan still investigated the world of Umbrella. Finally found out. It turned out that I wanted to rescue and intervene. The Azure civilization was the target of Umbrella's crusade. This beam is considered to be settled, and this Ronan also hated this Umbrella. Nanas. Either you die, either I die. Also because of this. Now Ronan is not the same every time. It's done with only one car, let alone bring your own fleet. Although 3,000 battleships are a kind of battle damage. But this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The battle damage is just a pain for the entire Kerry and Empire. It's still far from reaching the point where the muscles and bones are broken. Because they are Kerry and the Empire, they are mainly fighting the Kerry and the Empire. Go. It directly crossed the outer areas of this illegal zone. Ronan led his warship and landed directly towards the collector's location. Yeah, the pale green-skinned girl in this room clearly felt something was wrong. He just threw the maid aside. The whole person instantly disappeared in this slightly gloomy collection room. As the pale green-skinned woman left, the maid had not had time to breathe. Bang! An explosion sounded directly outside. A team of Kerry and the soldiers rushed in directly. This maid was pushed onto the ground on the spot. Following the team of Kerry and the soldiers rushed in. The entire collection room was destroyed by these Kerry and soldiers. It's Ronan who holds a warhammer. People, where is it? Looking at the maid who collapsed on the ground. Ronan had no mercy at all. I asked indifferently. Lena. The maid who responded weakly motioned to the inside of the collection room. The collector in this collection room was horrified. Kerry didn't have the slightest etiquette with the soldiers, so he rushed in and brought the collector out. Say it. Where is it? Looking at the collector who collapsed on the ground. Ronan asked indifferently. Yes, on the planet Shankander. In his eyes, the collector, who was unwilling, responded weakly to Ronan. In front of people like Ronan, lying itself is not a good choice. You are honest. Looking at the trembling collector in front of him, Ronan's mouth raised a slight smile. Seeing this smile, it seemed a little frustrating, and the collector's little heart couldn't help but shrink tightly. Ronan, he is definitely not a good person. With this idea, the collector lowered his disclosure to a lower level. Go. After taking a look at the humble collector, Ronan didn't care at all. Leaving directly from the collector's collection room. As long as you know the place, the infinite gem cannot escape Ronan's hand. Thanos wants to use Ronan's power to obtain infinite gems. And Ronan didn't want to use Thanos' power to get infinite gems. As long as there are infinite gems, Ronan will not fear everything. 9 realms. Ronan has no ability to attack, but revenge on the world of Umbrella, a rising world. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 267, Fight. Second update, seeking subscription. Ronan. Self-confidence still has some abilities. With Ronan and the others leaving on the battleship, the pale green-skinned woman who was hiding in the collection room slowly stood up. Although you told the truth, but you didn't say everything. Looking at the collector who slumped on the ground, leaning on one of the counters between the pale green-skinned woman's hands, she directly threw out an arm blade and slowly came to the collector. The pale green-skinned woman lurking in the darkness can see everything clearly and clearly. Planet Shankander. It's a place. But where is that infinite gem? They are not Thanos, the kind of existence that can sense the power of infinite gems. Their strength has not yet reached the level of the quasi-heavenly father. To get infinite gems, you must know the specific location and the specific hiding place. When were you here? Looking at the pale green-skinned woman who suddenly appeared. The collector's eyelids jumped frantically. Damn it! If I knew it, I wouldn't covet the power of that infinite gem. Came to this place one by one, threatening him one by one. Infinite gems. It's really not something a small person like him can covet. You don't have to worry about me. When did it appear? Answer me. The specific location of infinite gems. The arm blade in his hand was directly pushed onto the collector's neck by this pale green girl. Look at the collector. The pale green girl asked with cold eyes. In a gem shop in the capital of the planet Shankander. The threat of death directly threatened this collector. Under the threat of death, the collector slowly spit out the information he knew, and this information is also the key to his survival. Know the specific location. Who else knows except you? Her eyes narrowed slightly, and the pale green girl asked coldly. She could not believe that the collector would not send someone to get the infinite gem back. I have issued 10 reward orders, but only one predator came and received this reward order. And that? The predator's destination is in the Shankander Star Gem Shop. The pale green-skinned woman with unwilling collection in her eyes responded slowly. Humphrey. Hearing what the collector said, the pale green woman couldn't help but snorted in her heart. Sure enough, this guy is really not a tease. If he was just like Ronan, he rushed over. Then the result was to declare war directly on the planet Shankander. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. At that time, that infinite gem would also be stolen by that predator. This kind of result. It's not what this pale green woman wants. What she wants is infinite gems, not some obstacles on the way to this mission. How long have you set off, and when did you set off? A predator of what strength? Although I know these problems, the pale green-skinned woman still pressed on tightly. The clearer the question, for pale green-skinned women, the more advantageous. The departure is less than 3 hours. Is a solitary predator. The strength is not very strong. A predator of opportunism. Think about it slightly. The collector still slowly explained some things he knew to the pale green-skinned woman. I hope you didn't tell lies. Otherwise, I don't mind coming back and cutting off your head. He narrowed his eyes slightly. The pale green-skinned woman slowly lowered her arm blade from the collector's neck. Look up. The collector who escaped from the dead looked at the pale green-skinned woman who had left. I couldn't help but snorted slightly in my heart. I can't get it. Don't even think about it. That strange ball is on the planet Shankander. In all likelihood, the strange ball is indeed an infinite gem. The predator who came here for the takeover mission is real. Only one thing. The collector didn't say it. That is, he didn't mention Wang Wei's existence. One of the Lord of the Nine Realms. Wang Wei, Master of Umbrella's world. Fight. You greedy fellows. I want to see how you grabbed that infinite gem from the hands of one of the Lords of the Nine Realms. After all, people have the power of unlimited gems. The collector with a sneer on his mouth just watched the two groups of people leave before and after. What are you going to do? When the collector came back to his senses, he saw his maid holding a broken iron sheet. Slowly came to him. Upon seeing this scene, the collector couldn't help but feel his scalp numb. Damn it! Did you see other people riding on my head? Thinking of treason. Bastard. Your Excellency Commander. Do you need to send someone to contact this person among the countless virtual videos? Looking at Wang Wei, who was looking at the scenery and playing on the capital of the planet Shankander. In this Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Command Center, several adjutants raised their heads and looked at their commander directly, asking, like, it's so alike. This person is too much like the Lord of one of the Nine Realms. Your Excellency Wang Wei. Chapter 268. Wait a minute, Wu Tan Wang, 3 changes, seeking subscription. I need to go in person. When that face smiled and appeared behind the capital of the planet Shankander with a little raccoon. It doesn't matter whether Wang Wei is on a diplomatic visit or private play. She is the supreme commander of the Interstellar Defense Command Center on the planet Shankander. All need to come forward. By the way, where are we going to the boss next? Following Wang Wei's little raccoon standing on a scenic platform, he became a little bored. There is nothing to appreciate about this kind of scenery. It's not as good as the universe currency, which is more cordial. Where to go? There will be someone taking us the next. Smiled slightly. I glanced at some cameras and micro-monitoring devices above the square. A slight smile appeared at the corner of Wang Wei's mouth. This kind of thing. It doesn't matter how it looks. But now that I found myself, then you will be here too. As for the infinite gems, under Wang Wei's enormous spiritual power, scan directly to the location. But it's not in a hurry. If Wang Wei remembers correctly, there seems to be a war on this planet Shankander. Well, that's the home of their thought of this. Wang Wei has a little bit of thought about that. We were Heavenly King. There are 2 sentences in Marvel, which are circulated so that Wang Wei, who does not know much about Marvel, has a deep memory. One of the words is the Iron Man, Tony, who is like a mortal and a god. Among them, the greatness of Iron Man Tony is explained, more or less. Why got to know Wang Wei from Marvel's small video. For Iron Man, when he snapped his fingers, I am also impressed. Sacrificing his own life in exchange for the survival of the entire universe, is a hero. He is a superhero worthy of admiration. It is for this reason that Wang Wei has a lot of affection for Tony. And the last sentence of this sentence, it's that ... Wu Tam Wang. He is also the real master who inherited Tony's words. With the body of a god, you can compare with mortals. How excellent this is, brother. You are the body of a god, not even a mere mortal. Thinking of this, Wang Wei couldn't help but feel a pain in his head. I really want to know what kind of god you are like. My eyes narrowed slightly. You can say this infinite gem. It was Wang Wei's bait for fishing. That bait of the body of a god. Also, Wang Wei's yearning for the power of the gods. Asgard's power system can basically be said to be the power system in Nordic mythology. However, due to Odin's many loves for himself, Wang Wei also temporarily stopped thinking of Asgardians in his heart. But absolutely this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Idea. It doesn't mean that Wang Wei has no idea about gods. Since he can catch a god's body, then Wang Wei is determined not to let go. Someone will pick it up. I heard Wang Wei say this. Watching Wang Wei standing here quietly watching the scenery, little raccoon Rocket, although not very clear, still a little weakly relying on the fence. So boring. It seems to be coughed. Welcome to you, Lord of the Nine Realms, Umbrella World Lord. Your Excellency Wang Wei, wearing a regular uniform on the planet Shankander, the commander of the Interstellar Defense Command Center led 2 or 3 subordinates directly to Wang Wei's side. Since Wang Wei is not on a formal diplomatic visit, then Wang Wei must have hidden his identity. If it is for your own reasons, it made such a big man exposed his identity. So, I and the planet Shankander have to pay more. As a commander, the degree of mental activity is definitely not low. After all, he can become a commander. No one is mediocre. This sentence is a fact. Look, I said. The one who came to pick us up is here. As if to prove to the little raccoon Rocket. Wang Wei smiled at the little raccoon Rocket at his feet. Okay, maybe. But who are they? Do you know the boss? The commander of Shankander's interstellar defense in a suit. He was not recognized by little raccoon Rocket. After all, the little raccoon Rocket is just one street predator among the many predators. Those big guys, for little raccoon Rocket, none of his concerns. It's just an ordinary person. Hearing Rocket's inquiry, Wang Wei's mouth raised a slight smile. An ordinary person. It is indeed an ordinary person. After all, there is no power at all. The commander of the Shankander Interstellar Defense Center in front of Wang Wei twitched his mouth slightly. All right, in front of you, I am indeed an ordinary person. I'm not arguing with you. I don't know the Lord. Why did you come to our planet Shankander? Looking up, the commander of the Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Center questioned Wang Wei. After all, the visit of a big man. Their purpose, don't talk about it. It's their own business. But don't ask yourself. That's my problem. I'm nothing. I just left the 9 realms and wandered around. By the way, see if you can find some other curious gadgets. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 269, Perfecting the Treasury of Knowledge, 4 Changes, Seeking Subscription. While talking, Wang Wei smiled and said to the commander of the Shankander Interstellar Defense Center, after all, what I said was completely truthful. Leaving the 9 realms, wandering around. After all, whether it is Blue Star or within the 9 realms, Wang Wei felt a little bored. This is the reason for the increase in strength. If the strength is not improved, then Wang Wei will do his best to develop the power. When Wang Wei merged the body of 3 generations of God Kings, Wang Wei's mood changed. It's time for the forces in his hands to be handed over to his own subordinates. Just like this time, Ling Liang led his army to snipe the small civilization in Azure civilization. Wang Wei didn't interfere much with this kind of thing. Now Umbrella's world, whether it is people in the government system or in the military, has gradually moved towards a sound path. If there is really anything worthy of Wang Wei's attention, then perfect the treasure house of knowledge. This is just one kind. After all, in the super god universe, whether it is the civilization of the gods, or the civilization of the gods, or the civilization of the glutton, a treasure trove of knowledge, this kind of thing is absolutely and must exist. The treasure house of knowledge is a civilized force and the foundation of existence. It is also a support for the existence of civilized power. There is a treasure house of knowledge. They will be able to start wars wantonly. With a treasure trove of knowledge, they can completely resurrect the dead people relying on genetic sequences. This is what Wang Wei really cares about. Okay, then Planet Shankander. Welcome to play 9 Realms Supreme, Lord Umbrella, Lord Wang Wei. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. This Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Commander can only accept Wang Wei's rhetoric. Such rhetoric is true or false. It is not clear at all. But it doesn't matter anymore. At least Wang Wei gave her an answer. Please hear. The commander of the interstellar defense of the Shankander planet with the very visionary world directly directed Wang Wei's respectfully forward. After all, when we first met, that little raccoon at Wang Wei's feet is a conversation between a mere predator and Wang Wei. The commander also heard very clearly. The meaning is obvious. The two of them are waiting for the arrival of the planet that is to be invited by these people. That being the case, then the commander sold these two guys a face. Follow them. Let's go. Raccoon. The corner of his mouth raised slightly. Waves of mental power are constantly scanning the capital of the planet Shankander. With Wang Wei's strength, he mentally scanned the entire planet of Shankander. Cannot be discovered by the defense mechanism of Shankander, and this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Not to be discovered by some reclusive quasi-destructive star powerhouses on the planet Shankander. Wang Wei is confident that he still has that strength. But it is not necessary. Just scan near this infinite gem. However, the vicinity of this wireless gem is the capital that encompasses the entire planet Shankander. Here it is. And also, can you call me Little Raccoon? I really don't like the name, boss. Looking at the commander, who was very respectful and dressed in ordinary clothes, although Little Raccoon Rocket is slightly confused. However, he directly protested with Wang Wei. The name Little Raccoon Rockets really don't like it very much. So, why do you call me the boss? Wang Wei, who didn't answer directly, gave a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. Because you are my boss. It's that simple. After all, I am working with you now. But boss, can you promise me one thing? Little Raccoon scratching his head. Rocket, looking at the group of patrol members in the distance. Suddenly, there was a panic. After all, he is a predator. I am a lawbreaker. On the planet Shankander, it is easy to be caught in the prison. Listen to what you said. While following the commander, Wang Wei asked absently. The little raccoon asked himself a question. It's really courageous. But the commander who led the way in front of him twitched slightly. Dare to make demands with such a lord. You are a mere predator. You really don't know how to live or die. You don't know how you die then. It seems that it is time for you to leave a room in the space-heavy prison. Hey. It's actually nothing serious, boss. You know, I am a predator. On this planet of Shankander, I have a wanted warrant that belongs to me. If it doesn't work, I will most likely be caught up. By the time, I just hope you can help the boss. Release me on bail. Can it work? Rocket, the little raccoon, looked at Wang Wei with a hippie smile. Wang Wei raised his head slightly and said with a smile, do you still know you are a predator? However, Wang Wei didn't care much about this matter. After all, his current identity was one of the Lords of the Nine Realms, Umbrella World Lord. Besides, Little Raccoon's wanted order is not a big deal. Just give Wang Wei some time. No, it should be said, not give me some time. As long as Wang Wei slightly nods his head, Shankander Planet is absolutely happy to send it. Little Raccoon's the wanted order was revoked. Chapter 270. Alright, let's go. 5 change/subscription. After all, the identity is placed here, compared to the people on the planet Shankander, revoking a wanted order and making the Lord one of the 9 worlds. With a little hostility, it is always two different things. Hearing what Wang Wei said, Little Raccoon Rocket directly raised his head and smiled and said, isn't that the same thing as before? Besides, I'm chasing with the boss now. If you don't help me, I really don't know what I can do. After all, the planet Shankander is a lawful planet. Seeing the appearance of Little Rocket, Wang Wei nodded slightly. Let's talk about this later, it's not a big problem, Wei said. And then Wang Wei and others directly followed the commander towards the Kanda planet, the direction of the Interstellar Defense Command Center, etc., etc. The boss is wrong. Looking at the direction of advancement, the little rocket was a little bit stunned. How could this direction be more and more like the planet Shankander, the place of the Interstellar Defense Command Center? What's wrong? Looking at the appearance of the little raccoon rocket, Wang Wei smiled a little. The previous one is Shankander's Interstellar Defense Center. If I go to that place, I will definitely be caught in the space prison. While pointing to that place, Little Raccoon, the rocket trembles a little bit. After all, for the criminals like predators, all lawful institutions are the objects they are afraid of. Okay, follow along. It's okay. Shrugged slightly, Wang Wai directly asked the little welcome to ask Rocket with a smile and said, after all, Wang Wai did not talk to the Little Raccoon Rocket. He just wanted to see the Little Raccoon Rocket's ugly state from here. You can't help but say, this is a kind of pleasure for Wang Wai. It's over. This one is really over. This one is really the sheep entering the wolf den. While muttering the Little Raccoon Rocket, he followed Wang Wai's pace closely. After all, Wang Wai is the boss who wants to declare allegiance to him. If he just runs away, then, whether it is from Wang Wai, it is extremely difficult to get the universe currency or bring Groot back. You know that Groot is now on Wang Wai's battleship. For Little Raccoon Rocket, his friends, especially the stupid ones like Groot, are absolutely concerned about the interstellar defense of Shankander, which is walking in front. He didn't care much about the chat between Wang Wai and Little Raccoon Rocket behind him. It should be said that it is not her turn to proceed. Little Raccoon, although Rocket has a wanted order for Planet DA, as long as Wang Wai is willing to take it, then Planet Shankander will definitely revoke his wanted order. This is the big shot. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Identity. This is the truly noble status symbol of one of the 9 realms. Where are we now? In the ship. Steven opened his blurred eyes and looked at Tony next to him and asked. Our current distance, from the location of Shinzo Nagama, is still some way away. But it's coming soon, and we will almost meet in half an hour. While looking at the star map, he faced Steven and explained. And as Steven woke up, everyone in the cabin gradually woke up. After all, the time is not long, and the time is not short. For these guys on the battleship, in addition to all kinds of play, only rest is left. Tony, Chief Shinzo Nagama seems to be contacting me. I keep eating in my mouth. Moyu said directly to Tony beside him. Ask Nagama Chief Jinsen where they are, and we will meet them immediately. Like a nanny, Tony directly ordered Moyu. Okay. Hearing Tony's remarks, Moyu directly inquired about Shinzo Nagama on the internet. On the other side, Shinzo Nagama, who was slowly passing by on several battleships in the interstellar space, suddenly reached a report from his subordinates. Your Excellency Commander, found Miss Moyu's communication. Following the remarks of this powerful soldier, Nagama Jinsen raised his brows slightly. What's wrong with Moyu's communication? Is the commander here too? With a little inquiring meaning, Nagama Jinsen directly took this magic soldier. I brought the report. Reply to them that we are about to meet them. Look at the query on this report. Shinzo Nagama spoke to the superb soldier next to him. Although he didn't know the commander, where His Excellency Wang Wai was, since he was the battleship of His Excellency Wang Wai, Shinzo Nagama still has some respect for Moyu. In fact, to be honest, it is not only for Moyu. The heroic generals in the entire Red Police system have great respect for the Ship Mother system. After all, both parties are the best partners for cooperation on the field. If you say that the super soldiers, the Transformers, the Cavalry Corps, the Biochemical Corps, these are the soldiers of the heroes and generals, then the Ship Mother will be their best combat partner or an assistant. It's your commander. Hearing Shinzo Nagama's instructions, this super soldier also nodded, and directly sent them the words of Shinzo Nagama. For the ununderlined version of the novel, please download fellow novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise block the collection IP greater than. Chapter 271, The Boss. I don't want to hand it over, a change/subscription, next. I don't know why Miss Moyu is in this place. Leaning on the seat, Shinzo Nagama began to ponder slowly. General Ling Liang had assigned him a task, but he entered the newest zone and acted as a pirate fleet in Umbrella's world in illegal places, looting some unobtainable things for Umbrella's world. For such a task, Shinzo Nagama is also willing to accept. He knows his own situation, If it is said that before the red police system is regulated, it is absolutely impossible for Shinzo Nagama to respond to this order of General Ling Liang. You know that he is an excellent commander of the Rising Sun Empire. Even if General Ling Liang is in the Shenzhou camp, known as the best strategy master in the entire Red Alert system, he will not be convinced. But when he came to this world and came into contact with the power of his commander, His Excellency Wang Wei, Nagama knew that if he did not submit to General Ling Liang, then he would never get ahead. Your Excellency Wang Wei has too much power in his hand, too strong enough for Shinzo Nagama, like a firefly, and looks faint under the bright moon. Following this, Shinzo Nagama's instruction was directly sent to Moyu's hands. And Moyu, who received this instruction on the other side, directly handed it over to Tony. Okay, my friends, Chief Jinsen of Longma said that he will be there soon. Let's go quickly. While talking about dragging you, I patted my hand and made some settings in the new picture. Well, let's go. Everyone who nodded also expressed no objection to Tony's arrangement. On the other side of the planet Shankara, looking at the guard at the door of the Shankara Interstellar Defense Center, the little raccoon rocket, the whole person is a bit bad. So grandiose, appeared so grandiose in this lawful planet. If you know that you are a predator, if you say that your identity is illegally taken by the pirates, or the predators, you will definitely increase your prestige. I'm sorry, your weapons cannot be brought in. I glanced at the door of the little raccoon rocket, and looked at the commander of the Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Center who was leading the way. Give the little raccoon rocket directly. After all, it was the Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Command Center. If such a weapon were allowed to be in it, once something happened, they would not be able to bear the responsibility. Boss, I took a look at the weapon behind myself, and then at the Wang Wei little raccoon rocket in front. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. However, the weapons that the little raccoon rocket has personally modified are completely different from the weapons held by these door sentries. If you don't want to hand it over, don't hand it over, and no one is stopping you. With a slight shrug, Wang Wei strode forward and walked in. As for the sentry at the door, Wang Wei didn't care at all. Good luck, boss. After hearing Wang Wei's words, little raccoon rocket became excited, raised his eyebrows at the sentry at the door, and walked in. Strode. And seeing this scene, the Interstellar Defense Center, the sentry at the door wanted to come forward and stop, but after watching the commander who introduced the production to the Planetary Interstellar Defense Command Center, after that pair of eyes, he silently retreated. After all, the big geese have spoken, and if you don't let you care about you, you still care about it. Wang Wei, please come inside, please. While talking, wearing normal clothes, the commander of the Shankara Interstellar Defense Command Center directly led Wang Wei into the command center. And the many civilians in this command center, the generals saw Wang Wei's arrival, and they all looked sideways. After all, the identity of Wang Wei is still a mystery in the eyes of these people. The commander is polite. The commander should go to do what he is busy with. I will just stroll around. While saying that Wang Wei is leading the way forward, he can say with a smile. After all, it is a kind of courage to be able to enter the Interstellar Defense Command Center of this Shankander planet. No one will allow outsiders to enter into their own defense system, even if the opponent is a very distinguished person. Your Excellency Wang Wei is polite. Then please forgive me to change my clothes first. Here I will arrange for some people to take His Excellency Wang Wei to walk around. While talking, the commander nodded slightly at Wang Wei. With the departure of the commander, Wang Wei also took the small rocket to conduct a test run in the Defense Command Center and watched. After just taking a look, Wang Wei couldn't help but sigh. It's okay, that's it. At least it can't compare with his own Star Fortress. You know, the Star Fortress, but Wang Wei has devoted a lot of effort to it. There are some general-level staff officers, but there are not a few, plus some elite soldiers, some various types of equipment, etc. The Interstellar Fortress can be called an independent small military base. This kind of small military base should be said to be in Wang Wei's heart, If it is compared according to the Marvel world or the Blue Star people, that is a large military base. Chapter 272, Gem Shop, Second More, Seeking Subscription. After all, no one can call a base with tens of millions of people a small military base. Anything can already be said. It's a city. The most important thing is that the youthfulness in the interstellar fortress is very perfect, plus some very rich learning ability heroes and generals in it. It can be said that the dispatching degree of the Star Fortress is definitely better than this Shankara planet, the command center dispatching degree to be tall and tall. After Wang Wei arrived at the Interstellar Command Center, the famous Uranus also came to the planet Shankander. In this periphery, under the gaze of the patrol, King Yu could only bite the bullet and drive his spacecraft into space and into the harbor. Subsequently, Heavenly King Ko used a fake identity he obtained with his hands, and he passed the customs directly and entered the capital of the planet Shankander. In this capital, King Yu took out his own. The tablet was searching for the location of the gem shop against the map. After all, for King Yu, this task is also very important. As the location was found, Uranus King Wu walked directly toward the location of the gem shop. Hey, the power in this guy's body is a bit strange. While drinking coffee in this command center, Wang Wei, squinting his eyes, suddenly felt that a guy came in and directly rippled his mental band. Wang Wei opened his eyes slightly and walked directly outside, and the little raccoon who followed Wang Wei directly raised his head and looked at Wang Wei and asked, "What's wrong with the boss? Are we going to do something?" He grinned while talking about the little raccoon rocket. After all, many people in this place recognize the identity of the little raccoon, and these civilian generals looked even more disgusted when they saw a predator entering their command center. In particular, this predator was still an experiment in the past, so this experiment has nothing to do with them. But disgust is still disgust. Not really, it's just something interesting. With a slight smile, Wang Wei responded to the little raccoon rocket while explaining to the civilian generals who were watching him. After all, he is currently on the other side's territory, and if the party gives a reasonable explanation, the other party's heart is also uncomfortable. For Wang Wei, I have reached someone else's place by myself and have disturbed others. If you release your own bad habits again, then you will be shameless. If you have the strength to be arrogant, that is your capital. But don't put your arrogant power on people who have good intentions for yourself, because this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. For this kind of time you are not arrogant, you are not capital, you are stupid. Facing the enemy, you should be mad, and facing your own people, you still need to be gentle. Oh, the boss wait for me. Hearing that Wang Wei said that between the little raccoon and rocket, he carried his weapon on his back. 3 steps and 2 steps came to Wang Wei's side. By the way, boss, what did you find? While walking the little raccoon rocket, he raised his head and asked Wang Wei. After all, in the heart of the little raccoon, Wang Wei rarely showed interest in some things. Once he showed interest in some things, it showed that Wang Wei was very interested in this matter. It's just an interesting person. While talking about Wang Wei, he walked outside. On the contrary, when he heard Wang Wei's remarks, although the little raccoon was a little puzzled, he nodded and continued to follow. Along with the arrival of King Wu, the capital of the planet Shankander, there was also a wave of waves. The pale green-skinned woman who followed, also cleverly avoided the customs and went straight to the capital of the planet Shankander. In the hands of this woman, there is a special thing that can directly locate the location of the predator. That is the position of the awkward dance king. Of course, Uranus, who walked in the front, did not find this pale green-skinned woman following. When King Wu arrived at the gem shop, he negotiated directly with the owner of the gem shop. Following a period of difficult communication, King Yu finally got the infinite gem from this guy's hand. And after Dang Wu Tanwang got the infinite gems, the other group of people in the starry sky also began to agitate. Boss, I found that Xing's position has changed here. A predator in charge of monitoring directly yelled at the boss sitting in the seat. As the predator's voice remembered, many predators around here also looked sideways. Where did that bastard go? Hearing the words of the predator, The boss sitting in the boss's position frowned. This little bastard doesn't wait for a good place, but he wants to run around. Is this obviously looking for something? You should know that there is a lot of chaos outside now. Ronan is walking around, plus some pirates, also thinking about fishing in troubled waters. The predators of their small forces can only proceed and linger. According to the display, that guy has now run to the planet Shankander. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 273, Predator Spaceship, 3 Changes, Seeking Subscription. While talking about the Predator, he reported to the boss. Planet Shankander, brethren, prepare us to go to Planet Shankander. The boss, who closed his eyes slightly, pondered for a while, and snarled at the predators around him. Hey, it's impossible, boss. We are going to plunder the transport fleet of this planet Shankara. At this time, these lawless blunders, why suddenly questioned the boss. After all, in the eyes of these guys, there is nothing that can make them crazy. They are all crazy guys. Greed, arrogance, and unscrupulousness are all synonymous with them. No, this time we will not move the transport fleet of the planet Shankander. The boss in the first seat nodded slightly and explained to everyone. I also heard this kind of rhetoric from the boss. The predators below are looking sideways. For the predators, the boss who can lead them to plunder is a good boss. If they can't, they don't mind changing. A boss. This is the predator. Then where are we going? The many predators who heard the boss's voice were puzzled. You know that the boss now has a lot of prestige. Now let these guys fight against each other, but they can't do it. The little bastard is able to pick up this task behind our back. Presumably the value of this task must be very high. Since the value of this task is very high, then we need to help this little bastard. After all, he is also ours anyway. I don't want to be eaten by some hounds hiding in the dark. As if guarding a calf, the boss faced everyone with a cruel smile on his lips. They have always been the only ones who rob others, but there is no reason for others to rob them. Even if the task of the little bastard did not satisfy them, they would never allow anyone to grab their heads. Hearing this kind of rhetoric from the boss, everyone nodded involuntarily. To be honest, only they can grab someone else's, never theirs. Even if this little bastard is doing a task on his own, they can't tolerate others to grab it. This is face, this is identity. Boss has something to do here with the large number of people present. The predators roared. A predator in front of the screen suddenly raised his head to face, and the old man surrounded by many predators shouted. What's the situation? This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Hearing the new situation, the boss frowned slightly, but don't be a bastard. Watch it for yourself, boss. While talking about this predator, he handed over the venue to his boss. Frowning slightly, the boss here walked directly between the venues and glanced at the background of the message. The whole person is a bit bad. It doesn't make sense how carry-in people are carry-in people. How carry-in people contact him, you know. He doesn't have much contact with clean people. Are you the predators here? As the video call was connected, Ronan looked deeply at this light blue-skinned predator, with a wicked smile on his mouth, asking, We are ready to leave here, carry-in people. I don't want to know what you are going to do here, nor do we want to get involved with you. While talking, the boss of the predator ship is going to go back directly this time. Ronan, either choose to follow my fleet to attack the planet Shankander, or my army will now annihilate you on the spot. While saying that someone was threatening, Ronan directly questioned the predators on this ship. The boss is not good. Several battleships suddenly appeared in our 4 inches. As Ronan's voice fell, several battleships appeared in the fore of this predator spacecraft. As we all know, between a spaceship and a battleship, it is absolutely impossible for a spaceship to fight a battleship. Especially the armament on their predator spacecraft this time was only armed by these predators. It is completely incomparable with the several ships on the opposite side that are armed by the Empire. Your power doesn't use us at all. What do you want to do? With the appearance of the battleship, The predator boss was twisted into a ball. Kerry and people have a bad reputation in the universe, one of which is that they can unscrupulously recruit some interstellar pirate predators to fight for it. No, I need your strength. Looking at the boss whose brows were curled up in front of him, Ronan's mouth curled up with a wicked smile. What do you want us to do? Seeing Ronan's attitude, the predator boss was not well. You can't resist. Since you can't resist, you can only choose to yield. The many predators behind the looting boss also breathed a sigh of relief. After all, Kerry and the Empire are on the opposite side, especially the number one figure like Roland. Planet Shankander, go to harass the defensive forces around the planet Shankander, and lead me out all those space warships. Chapter 274, Camera Riding. One more subscription, one sentence. The popularity of the internet represents the country's prosperity and development. It also shows the low education and experience of the fans. I don't delete comments and don't want to be sprayed that I can't tolerate you. Just like the Motherland Mother, I don't govern you. It doesn't mean that Motherland's mother can't tolerate you, scum. This task is not only your task. There are also a large number of predators to assist you. If you can successfully complete this task, then I don't mind sending you to Corey and the Empire. As if with a hint of promise, Ronan slowly explained to the predator boss. And hearing Liu Onan's explanation, the predator boss really didn't want it. I understand. The predator boss, with his mouth twitching slightly, with extreme reluctance, could only bite the bullet and nod. In this case, what should you do if you don't face your scalp? Don't you still want to fight against Kerry and the Empire? The several Kerry and Empire warships nearby are a good proof, or it is a very good threat. Very good. Then please prepare. Predator. Ronan nodded with a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. After all, an existence like this predator boss is still worthy of Ronan's personal appearance. Ordinary predators are a fart. After all, there are so many predators. Why do you want Ronan to shoot his head in person? Damn it. This time, no matter what, get that bastard thing back. After this communication was turned off, the predator boss snarled directly at the predators behind him. Well, you must get that asshole back. If it wasn't for this bastard boy, we will not share this stuff. Damn bastard. For Ronan's invitation, some people are not optimistic. But everyone gritted their teeth and wanted to get Wu-Tang Xing back and tidy up this little bastard. Oh, is this a fight? From a distance, Wang wired the Shankander Interstellar Anti-Swing Center suddenly felt that this star was beaten up with that light green skin girl. Well, until now, Wang Y can't remember this light green muscle. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. What is the name of the skin girl? What is your purpose here? This pale green girl with a blade in her hand. Camera looked at the stage who was bullied by him with no expression on his face. Hey baby. How can I answer you if you press me so much? Seeing this pale green skin girl suddenly appeared in front of her, she pressed herself directly on the square. Xing's whole person is a little uncomfortable. This is what is being pressed by the girl. Is it a reverse push? Wait, if this level is on another occasion, then Xing would definitely be very happy. But now on this occasion, forget it. Don't tell me. Looking at this stage, he didn't even turn his eyes to reply to himself. A sense of anger emerged directly on the camera. Raymond. The arm blade in his hand chased towards Xing's neck and reached it, and as Camera's arm blade reached it, Xingju clearly felt the threat of death. Let go first. Let go first. If you are like this, I can only be welcome. Although Camera is a girl, but it doesn't mean that Xingju can't do it. You're welcome. Why are you going to be welcome? With a slight sneer at the corner of his mouth, Camera looked at Xingju coldly. For Camera, there is no discussion about this kind of thing. Speak out the purpose here. I said. After feeling the cold light of the arm blade, Xingju swallowed his saliva, and persuaded. Mom sells badges. Where did this lovely girl come from? Such an ironic but, are you sure we want to talk here while talking? Xingju's thoughtful eyes floated to these people nearby. And above this square, tourists are playing. After seeing this unusually bold action of Camera and Xingju, There was a lot of discussion. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 275, although you don't want to disturb you, you are arrested. Second more for subscription. Camera's pale green face couldn't help but a slight blush emerged. Well, it just disappeared without a trace in an instant. For Camera, this kind of thing is too common. Humphrey, after Camera was standing up with a cold snort. The Star-Lord on the ground suddenly moved. Above both feet, a raging flame was sprayed directly. The whole person flew on the ground. Stage, who was moving very quickly, changed his hands and threw a restraint lock directly to this Camera. The bondage lock instantly shackled Camera. Hey, cute chick. Although I hate to have a fun event with you, but I still have some tasks. Just forgive me for not being able to dance with you happily. While talking, Xingju still smiled and said to Camera with a mean look, When the Star-Lord came to this Camera to tease, I don't know when, a guard force attached to the interstellar defense of the Shankander planet rushed over. It was straightforward to surround these two guys. Although, I don't really want to disturb you two flirting here. But, please respect me too. Okay. Interstellar wanted Predator, Star-Lord, and the Star wanted criminal, Thanos' daughter Camera. I am here to announce to you two exactly. You have been arrested. A fat young man smiled in front of these two men. And behind this young man is Shankander's guard. There are even a few small fighters in the sky watching. Once these two geese make any rash actions, directly capture these two guys. Okay, this time it is. Xingju's mouth twitched slightly when he saw this scene. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. This is a peach picked. I hope you can have a good time in the interstellar prison. Seeing these two star-wanted criminals who obviously put down their resistance, the officer of the Shankander Planetary Guard Force smiled. Your face makes me want to beat you. That's really sorry. There are many people in the Star Prison who want to beat me. I just don't know how many people you can rank in. Maybe you go in and talk to those people. With a calm smile on his face, the officer of Shankander's delicate guard army explained to Xingju with a smile. For this kind of smiling guy, Xingju doesn't have many thoughts. Hey, I really fell. The Star-Lord, who entered this interstellar prison not once or twice, was a little helpless at this time. After all, the mission this time, for his rating and funding, is a very important question. It's really interesting. With his mouth raised slightly, Wang started walking aimlessly inside the Shankander Interstellar Defense Command Center. Let's go. Little raccoon. Can you stop calling me rockets and there, boss? Where are we going? The rockets at this moment are really a bit daunting. I really don't know how my boss left here in a while, returned in a while, and now he is leaving. Boss, what are you thinking about? Let's get something. Regarding power gems, Wang also has some curiosity. You know, Thanos who wears power gems and Thanos who does not wear power gems. That's two people. And Thanos who wears all the gems and Thanos who wears the incomplete gems are two people. All in all, in short, this power gem can be regarded as one of the 6 cosmic gems. A good gem. Oh. Is there a dividend, boss? No. Then what can I get? Want to study technology? Boss, you have enough technology. Chapter 276. Handed over, infinite gem, 3 more seeking subscription. I have a civilization in my hands. Is it enough? But what is your technological power, boss? A lot of. One person, a raccoon, just left the Interstellar Defense Command Center of Shankander indifferently. But none of these people dared to stop Wang. Identity issues, and some of Wang Wei's whereabouts. These people dare not stop it. All they can do is to report Wang Wei's movements to their officers. What are we doing here? Looking at Wang Wei as if strolling in a leisurely courtyard, he came to the door of this gem shop. The little raccoon Rocket is a little confused about what good things are in this gem shop, right? Although there are some slightly good collections in it. But it's only slightly good. After all, the little raccoon doesn't believe that his boss will take a fancy to it. There is something I can see in it. The corners of his mouth raised slightly, And Wang Wai said to the little raccoon with a smile. Upon hearing Wang Wai's remarks, the corners of the little raccoon's mouth twitched. Boss, are you really good like this? I just said that you don't like the things here. You come back and slap your face on the back foot. Heart tired. What? The dejected little raccoon has a look of doubt. Infinite gems. While talking, Wang Wai stepped into the gem shop. Welcome to you, guest. After seeing Wang Wai's appearance, a well-dressed alien boss inside couldn't help but rub his hands subconsciously. This kind of action, why do you say that the greedy goblin merchant inside? With Wang Wai coming in, this alien owner of a gem shop suddenly became puzzled. How do you know me? See the owner of this shop. A smile appeared at the corner of Wang Wai's mouth. Do you know me or did you find something? No, I don't know. If the guest needs anything, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Some on this counter. Just say it. As if thinking of something, the alien boss shook his head repeatedly. Directly led Wang Wai to look at the gems on this cabinet. These ordinary gems, if some women come here, I will love it. But for Wang Wai, this kind of thing can be created even if it is casual. Not to mention, now he has several colonial planets and some umbrella forces of resource planets. The gem Wang Wai can build a castle for you with gems. But what's the use? No, you should know that I don't want these things. Wang Wai, who found a chair casually, sat down directly, seemingly daunting. Sit down with Wang Wai. The rocket jumped directly onto the counter, pulled his hands behind him. A set of weapons dedicated to the rocket was directly pulled from behind by the rocket. Hey, old boy, you better wake up. My boss. What you want? I have never failed to come down. The sensible hand over things, otherwise, I don't mind opening a scoop on your head. A pair of foxes and fake tigers, used by this little raccoon is really good. Looking at the little raccoon who jumped on the counter in front of him with grinning teeth, the owner of this gem shop is really a little embarrassed. Your Excellency, I really don't have what you want here. Looking at Wang Wai's appearance, the jewel shop owner's legs trembled directly. These are all big shots. He is simply an existence that cannot be offended. It really is. It really makes a headache. No, you have. And you recognize me too. You also know who I am. Then, you should know my style of doing things, right? Wang Wai bent down slightly, watching the thump suddenly. Kneeling in front of him this gem shop owner. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 277, Get the Power Gem. One more subscription. Wang Wai smiled. Hand over things. Although in Wang Wai's perception, this infinite gem is in this store. But Wang Wai didn't bother to be that kind of a robber who would take it by force. Let the other party willingly hand it over. Isn't it? I don't. Lowering his head, the trembling gem shop owner is still not ready to hand over that infinite gem. No. You have that thing. This thing is not something you can own. It will bring you a murderous disaster. You should know what kind of people are watching this thing. Do you think you, an ordinary person, can put this thing in your own hands? Hand it over. Maybe, I can save your life, and the world of Umbrella in the 9 realms may be able to give you a place to stay. I think there is no one who can bear it. I, the lord of one of the 9 realms. Wang Wai's anger. With a smile on his face, Wang Wai looked at the old man in front of him with a smile like that. Things, hand it over. Really, it seemed that the meaning in Wang Wai's words gave the gem shop owner a hope. The owner of the gem shop looked up at Wang Wai and asked expectantly, What I have said is never unfulfilled. No response to this gem shop owner. Wang Wai just said such a sentence silently. Okay, your lord. Wait a minute. The owner of the gem shop, who got a satisfactory answer, hurriedly searched behind the counter. Boss, is this guy a cheap bone? Seeing that he threatened not to give things, after his boss threatened, this guy handed over the things neatly. Rockets, I feel like a failure. In other words, rockets feel that they don't know what they can do in front of their boss. Sir, who knows? Listening to Rocket's words, Wang Wai's mouth raised a slight smile. Cheap bones. Okay. Anyway, I don't think this guy is pleasing to the eye. Mumble. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The little raccoon rocket after a few sentences jumped directly off the counter and came to the door of this gem shop aimlessly. "Your Excellency, this is what you want." The jewel shop owner with a panic face took a box in front of Wang Wei. Seeing the appearance of this box, Wang Wei smiled. "Well, this is it." In Wang Wei's mental perception, in Wang Wei's magic frequency perception, that infinite gem is this. In other words, as long as this power gem is in hand. Wang Wei has the third gem in his hand. Space gem, above the blue star. Ether particles have been fused by the void engine. The gem of time is in the hands of the Supreme Master Yi, and this power gem is about to reach Wang Wei's hands. In other words, Wang Wei has already collected 3 of the 6 major gems. Only the last reality gem is left. Not only is it missing, this last reality gem should be in Thanos' hands. In addition, there is a soul gem. However, the soul gem needs to possess the love that sacrifices him. It's better to leave this kind of thing to the Thanos farmer. Wang Wei is not happy to sacrifice something. "Very good, go pack things and get ready. The umbrella world of the 9 realms is waiting for you." Wang Wei with a small ball in his hand smiled. Boss, look at it. We are surrounded." Suddenly, Little Rocket became nervous and hurried. Hearing the sound of Little Rocket, Wang Wei's expression wrinkled slightly. Surrounded by Wang Wei's perception, slightly in the perception, some members of the Shankander planet Interstellar Defense Fleet directly deployed numerous troops near this square. The goal is clear, this gem shop. What to do with the boss? Looking at the Shankander troops all over the sky outside, Little Rocket was a little eager to get excited. A very excited Little Rocket came directly to Wang Wei's side and asked, "Fellow reminds you, 3 things to read and collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection IP is blocked. Greater than." Chapter 278, If you want it, take it. Second more for subscription. What else can I do? Who can stop me from leaving? With a flip of his wrist, Wang Wei temporarily took away this power gem directly. "However, this guy will leave it to you." After taking a look, Wang Wei, the owner of the gem shop who made some small movements when he took the power gem, said in an angry tone, "Understand, boss, leave it to me." He love. The Little Rocket with a hideous face walked directly in front of the owner of the gem shop. "Old boy, I've long seen you not pleasing to your eyes." "You said why did you want to kill you like this?" With a grinning smile on his face, Little Rocket pointed his weapon at the gem shop owner's head and shot it down. "The people below listen. Please immediately raise your hand to surrender. We will give preferential treatment to those who surrender." Sitting quietly in this gem shop, Wang Wei, who was playing with a blue gemstone, smiled. "These guys are really fearless if they don't know. Aren't they talking to the boss like this?" But what about these gems? For the yelling outside, although Little Rocket was a little scared in his heart, he looked like his boss didn't have any. Little Rocket was also brave, bit the bullet, and said, "Why, I want you to take it." It didn't matter that Wang Wei, who had thrown away the colored gemstone in his hand, stood up directly. "Okay, boss." A small rocket out of the nature of a predator directly searched the gem shop. Not to mention, this really made the Little Rocket search out something. It was the currency of the universe alone, and the Little Rocket scoured thousands of yuan. This is cash. It is conceivable that there can be thousands of cosmic currencies in a gem shop. Not only that, but the Little Rocket has taken away a lot of good looking. For this behavior of little raccoons, I chose to turn a blind eye. As far as Wang Wei is concerned, as long as it is his own. Even if you have the ability, you're going to take a burning sun as your own. Wang Wei This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Do not mind. Similarly, if someone dared to beat Wang Wei, don't talk nonsense. Just picking up the child is done. Under the guidance of Wang Wei's thoughts, people of Umbrella World, that isn't warlike or doesn't bring you birds at all. Don't mess with me. As long as I provoke me, I will kill you at home in minutes. I can't do you. I have enough background. People recruited from the Red Police system like Wang Wei have been trained to become important members of the military and political system. It can be said that some bureaucracy. It doesn't exist in Wang Wei's place. Not to mention, The Red Police itself is a militaristic world. Everything is served for war. In this case, regardless of the previous easier planets, it's still on those colonial planets, regarding bureaucratic forms, and some idle decadent atmosphere in society. Under this militaristic thinking, it was completely swept away. Everyone has a rush, and all have their own goals. This is the umbrella world system created by Wang. Why? You are so courageous. Can you tell me who gave you such courage? Wang Wai, who walked out of the gem shop, looked at the dozens of aviation fighters flying above him and this garrison member on the ground. The corner of Wang Wai's mouth smiled. Even if there are several interstellar warships parked directly above, Wang Wai didn't care at all. As long as Wang Wai is willing, he can use the Void Engine in a short time to directly seize all the electronic and virtual related things on the Shankander planet. Those interstellar ports that serve it in the stars, and space artillery, etc. Wang Wai was able to take control of it. Don't want Wang Wai. Wang Wai has inherited a mechanical inheritance. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection. Otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 279, Stubborn, You Are Looking for Death. 3 more subscriptions. The Academy of Mechanics has officially started in the Red Alert planet, although the virtual mechanics in it are even more tests of character and talent. In the Red Alert system, a famous virtual mechanic was selected. Wang Wai is naturally also a veteran among these virtual mechanics. Old hands in old hands. Please listen to the bandit ahead. Hand over the treasures looted in your hands, and please, we can consider lenient treatment. It was as if he hadn't heard Wang Wai's words. The security team members of this planet Shankander shouted at Wang Wai again. The meaning of this shout: all of them wanted Wang Wai to surrender the gems he had obtained. Space gem. You guys, Mayfly is really shaking the tree. The ants are killing the sky. See the members of this small Shankander garrison. Wang Wai couldn't help making a sneer. What the boss did. At this moment, the rocket with the unique weapon in his hand turned his head and asked his boss. This kind of thing is difficult. After all, surrounded by so many people, even the rockets, it may not be able to rush out. What should I do if I have repeatedly refused to listen to my inquiries? Then I don't have to pretend to be a good person. Although I can invade into the interstellar network of this planet. However, it doesn't matter, I want to fight. Come then. With a slight smile at the corner of his mouth, Wang Wai raised his hand and a space crack came out. As the space lufeng tore out, once compressed to the extreme, the densely packed iron sand began to jump behind the cracks in the space. The mechanical soldiers inside the compression ball watched the battle. An urgent desire to fight instinct. Warning. Caveat. A large number of predator fleets appeared outside the Shankander Interstellar Defense Cordon. Warning. Warning. Shankander Interstellar Defense Cordon. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. A large number of predator fleets appeared outside, just when Wang Wai was about to launch an attack. Some of the communication broadcasts that came with the Shankander garrison that surrounded Wang Wai and others directly began to spread the news. Hearing such a news, Wang Wai couldn't help but froze for a moment. How come the predator fleet are here? If I remember correctly, shouldn't it be Ronan's battleship that appeared here? My brow wrinkled slightly. Wang Wai felt that this kind of thing was a little strange. With this kind of thought, Wang Wai directly used the same mind and used the means of a virtual mechanic to directly enter the interstellar network of the planet Shankander. Team leader. How to do? A large number of predator fleets appeared outside the interstellar defense cordon of Shankander. The members of Shankander's security team couldn't help but raised their heads and asked, for these ordinary players, what crime did the other party commit? There are also occasions. After all, in the hearts of these most ordinary players, a crime of looting gems. It's not worth it at all for them to dispatch so many people. The more important thing is they are soldiers. They are soldiers who defend their homes and nations. They want to go out and have round with the big troops. Then stop the predator forces from the planet Shankander. Take him, send him to the Starry Sky prison. As if to echo the members of this guard team, the captain directly ordered with a cruel heart. Hearing such an order from the captain, although everyone still has a lot of puzzles, but the members of the Shankander Planetary Guard team turned their guns at Wang Wai. Stubborn. Forgive you for not dying, even thinking about doing things, although searching for some useful information in this interstellar network. But for the people in the Shankander garrison around him, Wang Wai still took a little care. Chapter 280, Come and Fight If You Don't Agree. One more subscription. With Wang Wai's voice falling from Wang Wai's hand, directly tore out a series of spatial cracks again. Compressed balls came out directly. With the advent of these compression balls, a number of mechanical soldiers appeared in front of all of them instantly. Bing Hai, the endless sea of soldiers. What's more important is that these mechanical soldiers are still expanding. In a short moment, thousands of famous mechanical soldiers gathered by Wang Wai's side. Following Wang Wai's big hand, he waved slightly. The mechanical soldiers flying in the sky raised the electromagnetic cannons, energy guns, beam rays and so on in their hands, and the guards against these Shankander began to suppress them. Above the ground, there were countless mechanical soldiers directly rushing towards the hundreds of Shankander garrison members. It's like a small crab under the waves. It was swallowed in an instant. I'll go. So hot. Seeing this wave of hands is the appearance of sea-like mechanical soldiers. A look of envy appeared on the entire face of Rocket. This look is so handsome. It is so handsome that it explodes. Is there any? Thousands of mechanical soldiers appeared between the waves. This feeling is so handsome. It turns out that Ronan sent a notice in advance. Can you hand over this space gem? Even if it is a top secret information like the Interstellar Defense Command Center on the planet Shankander. They couldn't stop the invasion of Wang Wai, the top virtual mechanic. With Wang Wai's continuous operation, this planet of Shankander is like a library without any secrets in front of Wang Wai, even though there are a lot of materials that are not open to the outside world. But in his eyes it is like a library. You can let yourself browse and read freely. This is a bit bullying. From here, Wang Wai also knew that this Shankander Planetary Guard team would directly kill the door of this gem shop, because Ronan's threats are all down. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Although death is a lawful and just party, but just not enough. Before Ronan's fleet officially appeared, choose a dirty deal. Because of this situation, that's why this guard team will attack this place. As for Wang Wai doesn't think that his appearance will be popular throughout the universe. It's normal for these scum-like Shankander guards to not recognize themselves. The most important thing is that Wang Wai did not find any introduction about himself in the data he knew. In other words, the people of Shankander have guessed that their goal is this infinite gem, but not sure. Because of this factor, this Shankander garrison did not recognize itself. Okay, very reasonable arrangement. However, you Shankander is dead or alive in charge of my umbrella world. There is no negotiation at all. Okay, I came here for this infinite gem, or, let me take it now. Either waiting for the fleet of umbrella world to come over, or, I am alone. Destroy your entire planet Shankander. Since the Angel Legion was drawn out in the lottery, and Wang Wai has been promoted to become a master of the quasi-heavenly father level. Wang Wai didn't persuade him at all. He was afraid of a hammer. Do not accept it. Who is afraid of whom? Whether it is low-end force or mid to high-end force. I am not afraid. Destroy the star's combat power. I have a large piece. Come and fight if you don't accept it. It's such a madness. Afteruse has caused the fangs to grow out. No need to keep going. The arrogance in the future is for the return of the past. Go. Waved. Driven by the huge magical power of Wang Wai, these avatars of mechanical soldiers instantly began to compress back to the compressed ball model. He jumped directly back into Wang Wai's space crack, and looking at this short period of time, the mechanical soldiers that were so black that they could cover the sky and the sun were instantly retracted. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 281, Coach, I want to learn this. Second more for subscription. It is impossible to say that the Rockets are not greedy. Coach, I want to learn, boss. I want to learn from you. Some pitiful rockets directly raised their heads and stared directly at Wang Wei. There has never been a single thing can fascinate the rockets. There has never been. This hand mechanical soldier. It instantly ignited the dream of which mechanic in the rocket's heart. Well, you want to be a mechanic? Hearing such an inquiry from Rocket, Wang Wei couldn't help but turned his head slightly and started to wonder. Mechanic is a profession called mechanic, boss. Can you teach me? With a pleading look, the rocket stared at Wang Wei seriously and asked. Don't teach. As soon as I heard that I wanted to teach rockets as a mechanic, Wang Wei lost his temper in an instant. Apart from other things, that Shinono Suzuki, who was making trouble all day, also clamored for Wang Wei to teach her some knowledge of mechanics. The result was directly thrown by Wang Wei into the Mechanic Academy. Now I am studying on my own in this Mechanic Academy, and at the same time I start to integrate my own brains. Integrate with mecha technology. Even sometimes, Shino's issue stared at the place where Wang Wei sang with Wang Wei in a daze. A proper slut look. I hate it so much that I can't bear it. Even the girl wants to learn the mechanics of this mechanic. Wang Wei didn't even go to the professor. They were all thrown directly into this Mechanic Academy. A little raccoon, where is the self-confidence? Think I will teach you the inheritance of mechanics, whether to think too much or drink too much. If there is a peanut, you will not be drunk like this. Boss. No, I heard that Wang Wei was unwilling to teach himself the mechanics of this mechanic. Little Raccoon Rocket, the whole person is not up. This feeling made the little raccoon angry. Little Raccoon Rocket wants to learn this kind of technique. I want to learn it, and when I go back, I will learn it in the Machinist Academy. I have put all the inheritance of mechanics, basically where they are invested. There was a slight pause. Wang Wei is talking about the little raccoon. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Said carefully. Although Wang Wei has invested in almost all the mechanics in the Machinist Academy, however, some large-scale hazards were also retained, and some mechanics who could harm the foundation of Umbrella's world inherited Wang Wei and did not teach. After all, in the school city, whether it is the Academy of Mechanics or the Academy of Magic, many are fully open. As long as you have that qualification and that potential, all can enter and learn. But the last big technology, all of them need to be in the interstellar fleet to be able to learn. This can be regarded as Wang Wei's method. Umbrella World has never initiated an immigration policy. No immigration policy has been advocated. However, under Umbrella's subordinates, there are many third-class citizens, etc. These people are treated equally in the Academy City. Well, third-class citizens are treated equally. Boss of Machinist Academy, you mean this kind of technology is in the Academy? After hearing Wang Wei mention the introduction of the Academy, afterwards, Little Rocket's heart felt like fiery for an instant. I want to enter the college, then learn this mechanic technique. Well, when the time comes, you can go directly in. After all, you are so greedy for this technology. Wang Wei, who didn't say anything more, smiled instead. Okay, boss. But boss, where shall we go next? Watching this leisurely courtyard walk on this somewhat broken square, the little raccoon Rocket suddenly looked up and asked. After all, where to go next? You really need to ask your boss. Next, go home. Is it possible that you have to fight these Shankander people here against the mass predators or carry in the fleet of the Empire? With a slight frown, Wang Wei said directly with a smile. After this space gem is obtained, Wang Wei didn't have much interest in the battle on the planet Shankander. Chapter 282, his goal is infinite gems. 3 more subscriptions. After all, you guys are fighting yours. Whatever matters to me, I am here for this space gem. Okay, boss. Hearing what Wang Wei said, Little Raccoon Rocket nodded on the spot, directly led Wang Wei towards the direction of the airport and walked over. They have to pilot a small spacecraft and fly directly back into the 9 realms. Well, it is so arrogant. It's so arrogant. I don't care about war or anything. As long as you come and hit me, I will do all of you to get down. Report. The hunting team is completely destroyed. In the Interstellar Defense Command Center of the planet Shankander, a general suddenly reported to the female commander. In this report, There was a trembling voice. The hunting squad was completely destroyed. It means that someone robbed them of that infinite gem. Damn it. Everyone showed an uncomfortable expression when they thought of this. What's going on? The commander of the Shankander Planetary Defense Command Center directly looked up and asked. That hunting team is an elite team on their planet Shankander. How could it be possible to destroy all of them without sending a message back? The specific reason is that they met the adult. That adult's goal is also this infinite gem. Having said this, a touch of ugliness appeared directly on the face of this officer. Infinite gems. That adult's goal happened to be infinite gems. That's right. If it's not for the power of infinite gems, how could one of the 9 realms rush over in person? Even the weakest lord among the 9 realms is not something that their planet Shankander can withstand. What's more, this latest rise, smells, and is very good at fighting, and a warlike lord. This is very uncomfortable. Damn it. As soon as he thought of this, the commander instantly wanted to understand and think thoroughly. That's it. The Lord said that coming here to play is really for fun. Other people's play is secondary. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The purpose is for that infinite gem. The commander, with a trace of unwillingness in his eyes, suddenly raised his head and asked the people around him, "Where is the Lord?" Hear the commander's inquiry. A clerk directly investigated on the spot. Report. The Lord is walking towards the airport. No hidden thoughts. The voice of this clerk fell. A full-screen surveillance video was cast directly on the command screen of the command center. This is really, somewhat unscrupulous. Looking at the big thorn, Wang just left. A general of the planet Shankander suddenly muttered to himself. As the general finished speaking, everyone present nodded in unison. It is indeed somewhat unscrupulous. When a battle is about to erupt on this planet of Shankander. In the distance, Shinzo Nagama in the Broken Star Zone entered this illegal zone directly with a smile on his face. When Shinzo Nagama's fleet and Wang Wei's car, the ship mother, after Moyu made contact, after knowing the actions of his commander, Shinzo Nagama started a round of data analysis on the spot. However, it was discovered that some interstellar pirates in this illegal zone, as well as some interstellar pirate fleets, predator spacecraft, etc., have left after a certain number. Shinzo Nagama knew this was his best opportunity to settle here. Enter the best reality in this illegal zone. If it is not at this time, enter it and carry out looting, plunder. Then Shinzo Nagama is not Shinzo Nagama. So, your decision is to prepare to attack the hometown of several interstellar pirate fleets in this illegal zone with me, or return directly to the 9 realms. If you want to return to the 9 realms, I will send a small fleet to escort you back. Above this Umbrella World Pirate Fleet Command flagship. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 283, So Prepare to Fight. One more subscription. Shinzo Nagama sat in this meeting room in a regular dress, and looked at the members of the Avengers in the meeting room and asked with a smile. For Shinzo Nagama, these people in the Avengers, the identity is a bit special. But if these guys are willing to stay, Shinzo Nagama doesn't mind taking care of 1 or 2. If you don't want to stay, then Shinzo Nagama will directly command a small fleet to escort him back. In fact, it will be sincere. For this Umbrella Army, the members of the Avengers, they are not willing to contact. Not much strength. But where is the identity and status? I am afraid that the other party will be blind. This situation is the same as having a pig teammate. However, these Avengers members also know that they may become pig teammates. They all choose to help and obey Umbrella's orders. As a member of the Avengers, they are all focused on fighting fortified battles. Let's stay. After all, it will be a big battle next. We can help a little bit too much, isn't it? After looking at each other, whether it was Tony, Stephen, or Dr. Banner laughed. It may not be very combative for these guys, but under the constant travages and brainwashing of a leader like Wang Wei, these guys are also inexplicably interested and enthusiastic about fighting. This situation is like in a school where people in a dormitory do not play games, and as a result, A game god appears in various pretends. Various fly. Many roommates are gradually being infected by this game directly following the game. The whole dormitory is like playing games with depravity, day and night for the sake of top scores. Well, that's the situation. It is also very real. These Avengers members are basically completely infected by Wang, a veteran-level figure. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The people of the Avengers. The label of Brera's world on them, can't even take it off. But for Wang, it doesn't matter if he can take it off. After all, in the Marvel world, except for the people in the Umbrella world, only the Avengers can communicate with themselves. As for the ordinary heads of state, they are not interested. If the Avengers are gone too, Wang really feels super boring. Well, although there are many girls in the Umbrella world, they can play together. But boredom is a kind of boredom. The mentality is boring. Okay. However, next, I am ready to fight. Please also accept my schedule. For such a few members of the Avengers, Shinzo Nagama still knows something. Both are able to accept scheduling problems well. Since they can accept scheduling, then, get ready to fight. After all, this time, come over. Shinzo Nagama didn't even bring many black technology powers in Umbrella's world. An interstellar pirate fleet composed of a small number of Umbrella world fleets and a majority of colonial fleets. Among this, not many belong to Umbrella's world power. Most of them are more common forces in the universe. In addition, the quasi-star destroying power in the hands of Jinsen in this long period didn't have much power, although most of them are the power of the extinction stars of the colony controlled by the Yuri copyists. Well, that's it. Yes. Hearing this kind of rhetoric from Nagama Shinzo, the Avengers present nodded and responded in earnest. If Wang were there, they might not be so respectful and humble. However, it is precisely because Wang is not there, these guys will appear more respectful and humble. Fellow reminds you, 3 things to read and collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 284. Hunting them. Second, more for subscription. With these people nodding, Shinzo Nagama nodded slightly. This small fleet drove directly towards the illegal place. 1 Umbrella battleship, several Umbrella destroyers, and more than a dozen colonial-class battleships. He marched toward this lawless place mightily. On this road, there are always some looters, or pirate fleets. Shinzo Nagama, who looked like a bad wolf, was directly stared at. A small pirate fleet was found ahead, with 7 warships ready to fight. After Shinzo Nagama's order was issued, this pirate fleet directly opened its brutal fangs. Hunt them. Many Avengers members in this conference room opened their deep scarlet eyes. The element of battle is directly imprinted in the hearts of these Avengers. Even if you live on the Blue Star, even the various educations they use to tell them to be treated as peace messengers. But, facing these pirate fleets, I'm peace with your sister. Do it. It's over. While thinking, this Stephen and Tony, and Dr. Banner raised the evil smile at the corners of their lips. Persuasion failed. The commander has ordered, attack them. They will be wiped out. Following the instructions given out, this pirate fleet did not give the other party any hesitation time at all. The giant battleship guns directly opened the pale blue fangs. Ships of cosmic fighter planes directly soar in this universe. Many intelligent and civilized guys are controlling these unmanned fighters in the universe to attack. Bang, bang, bang. In other words, this long-time Jin Sanjin this Avengers opportunity. The problem was solved directly with the station ship cannon. There is no melee warfare. A battle that can be solved with naval guns. It's never been a problem. I'm wiping. This is the first few times. Didn't I say that? Let us play? How come it's like this? Stephen, who held the vibrating shield in his hand, couldn't help but feel slightly unhappy. You shit, say this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Okay, let us join the war. As a result, Now you are directly dealing with the naval gun. What use is it for us? Steven has an irrelevant impulse, although I don't want to admit it. But I looked at Commander Shinzo Nagama and meant that he was preparing to enter this illegal place to fight and conquer these previous battles. It is estimated that annihilation is the main thing. Maybe there is nothing for us. Toothache. Tony, who had some toothaches, sat directly in this conference room and explained helplessly to Steven. As for Dr. Banner on the other side, it shouldn't be said that Hulk, who has turned into a Hulk, sat directly on the huge sofa on one side and began to drink tons of happy water from the fat house. Well, for Fat Green, this umbrella world really makes Fat Green cool, not despised, have a large number of similar people, as well as free resources. It's really super cool. Ha 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 ha. Hiccup. Leave him alone. There is fighting anyway. Hulk is on. No fight. Tons. Incarnate as a fat green man like a gluttonous food. He ate and drank. Fat Green, don't grab my snacks. Watching a big hand of the Hulk suddenly take away the snacks in front of him, the Scarlet Witch Wanda directly started rolling her eyes. Sorry. While talking, Fat Green carefully returned the snacks in his hand to Wanda. No way, there are still plenty of opportunities to compete between the Avengers, even though Hulk is very powerful. But there is a factor that requires anger and face your own people. Hulk can't get angry. Under such factors, Fat Green was often taught a lesson by Wanda. Wanda, who was wearing a black lining tights, didn't look angry, and directly put his slender legs on the table in this conference room. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 285, Then Declare War. 3 more. Please subscribe. I took my own food directly and started eating. But for these people, although there is no fighting now, but there is a problem they know. That is, the battle is not far away. Report to the commander. Our fleet has reached the designated position. Near this civilization. General Ling Liang directly led the first main fleet and the first auxiliary fleet, and the southern fleet of the Deep Sea Fleet quietly stationed in the area of the Asia civilization. No, it can't be called the Asia civilization now. It should be called now. It is the Asia region of Umbrella World. In this, there are not only these 3 powerful fleets, but also a colony fleet like Rain. The role of these colonial fleets is to assist the southern Deep Sea Fleet to suppress enemy areas that may rebound at any time. This is followed by a fleet called the Crusaders. The fleet of this crusade is small. There are only a dozen colonial-class warships. However, the troops stationed on the colonial-class battleships in this area are the most elite forces on the Blue Star. Blue Star people. The Umbrella World given by Wang has been crooked. Since the Umbrella World has contacted the many heads of state on the Blue Star, a wave of warlike thoughts began to spread directly on this Blue Star. War. Yearning for war. The current Blue Star people's desire for war is still no less than during the Second World War. Blue Star's cake is finished. Then follow the thigh to divide the cake in the universe. The universe is too big. Since it is so big that there is no limit, then the Blue Star, as their home star, absolutely and definitely does not allow destruction. Look at the violators, and punish them together. This is the star who has been stirred up by warlike thinking, and some heads of state of Blue Star. So, everyone. Now the war is on. At this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. On the top of Umbrella's first battleship, the Hewitt. General Ling Liang, who bowed his head, directly threw a baton in his hand. Above his face, General Ling Liang with a cruel smile directly whispered to everyone present. Honorable Commander, in this command room, whether it was the Angel Cold of the Envoy that day, the flagship south of the Blue Ship or the Deep Sea Ship, or the 5 staff officers of the Crusade Fleet, General Xu. Everyone couldn't help showing a grinning smile. Wang was here to talk. These guys will more or less converge. It won't show up like this, but when Wang is not here, these guys are already crazy. In other words, the belligerent thought has spread directly from this red police system to the entire Umbrella World. In this situation, It is not clear whether Wang Wiener's thoughts of some persecution delusions have spread, or the warlike thoughts of this red police system have spread. Anyway, in a nutshell, in short, just one sentence: the person who bullied my umbrella world. This place will not be recovered. Lao Tzu feels uncomfortable. It's all done. Follow the instructions of General Ling Liang. A declaration of war state was directly delivered to this area near the Azar area. Ema civilization. War is declared. With this cosmic network, Umbrella's world directly unscrupulously declared war. Whether it's the embarrassment of the Ema civilization, the tourists staying in the Ema civilization, or the trade fleet, one after another started to be shocked. I rely on the people of Umbrella World declared war. The tourists and the trade fleet who received this news directly made a move that made everyone a little unexpected. 36 counts are the best count. Everyone immediately started to run. Don't run away and wait for death. In this universe, it is well known that the Umbrella World is a serious warlike world. Fellow reminds you, 3 things to read and collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP is blocked. Greater than. Chapter 286, Pushing Horizontally is over. One more subscription. But it was more belligerent than Nakri and the Empire. This Nema won't run away and wait to be arrested. With this declaration of war, the letter of credence was issued. With the embarrassment of the royal family of the Aimoyan civilization, General Ling Liang took the lead in launching the war. Bang, bang, bang. This is where the Aimoyan civilization and the Azar area communicate. The interstellar war cannons directly opened their strong fangs. The naval guns directly bombed the interstellar fortress in the Ema civilization area. No matter how the interstellar fortress of Aimoya civilization is defended, after all, it was unable to withstand the umbrella fleet that had prepared earlier. It's like a moustache once. Thousands of cannons were launched, thousands of aircraft and thousands of tanks were launched, and hundreds of army divisions declared war on nearby small countries. There is no way to resist. Commander, please order. Commander, please give instructions. Follow the commander's orders. As the interstellar fortress in this border area was directly breached, the Umbrella's first main fleet and the first auxiliary fleet, led by the Southern Deep Sea Fleet, and numerous colonial fleets came in forcefully. No need to dispatch at all. Push horizontally and it's over. To be honest, I really want to thank the civilized area of the Ema civilization. The corner of his mouth raised a slight smile. General Ling Liang directly patted this star map desktop. This area of influence of the Aimoya civilization is really a very good area of strength. Take a closer look. In this Aimoyan, on one side of the area of civilized strength is the vast star fragmentation zone that has transformed into the defense of these 9 realms. In the west, there is a desolate star field. Above it is the barren star field and the number of stars. As for the other side, it is within the sphere of influence of another civilization. So, the Emoan civilization that is separated from the Azar civilization fleet really resembles the country of Cochin beside the rabbit. Very long and narrow. Push it horizontally and it's done. If you want this easier, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The area also forms an additional star map scene. General Ling Liang may also make some arrangements. The problem is that this Aimoya civilization does not need it at all. Yes, hearing this General Ling Liang's instructions, everyone was refreshed. Push horizontally and you're done. No one can underestimate the war potential of this red alert system. In other words, the Red Police system is a serious force system born for war. The Red Alert system before the transformation or changes may not be able to conduct interstellar warfare. But after the Red Alert system has undergone transformation and changes, star warfare, it's a hammer. The horizontal push is over. Boom, 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 boom. At this moment, the battleship of Bismarck, which has turned into a war madman, directly opened its own scorpion. Yeah, the war is to fight like this. Push all the way across. Crush all the fleet. Follow up landing battles, and some encirclement and suppression battles. Leave it to the people behind. At this moment, the corner of Bismarck's mouth, who turned into a forward general, raised a wicked smile. Well, It is worthy of being a person who was educated by Mustache. It is also one of the most capable battleships during the Mustache period. This novel is first published by Dragon QQ4929238872. Don't be fooled by other fakes. Unique fellow novel backup group 672,171,357 fellow novel internal group 1,142,529,731 fellow novel internal group 2,929,082,961 more exciting fellow novels are in the hands of the owner. Welcome to the group. I hope you will not be fooled by those deceptive groups. Attachment: this work comes from the internet and published books. The work is only for readers' preview. Please delete it within 24 hours of downloading. It must not be used for commercial purposes. If you think this book is good, please buy a genuine book. Thank you for your support. Key points: I hope I can keep this paragraph when reprinted. It's a bit hard to organize, but retention is a virtue. Crazy enough, or unscrupulous enough, sister. Although you are right. But if we intrude too hard, it will be separated from the fleet behind. Beside this enthusiastic Bismarck is the North House, Turbits. Well, the one who can persuade this Bismarck is probably only Bismarck! Huh. These dragging guys. You know, the essence of blitzkrieg is to be quick and accurate. They waited like this until the opponent gathered a large number of resistance. It will definitely delay some time. Bismarck, who was super dissatisfied with the attack speed of the 1st Auxiliary Fleet behind him, the Southern Deep Sea Fleet and the Colonial Fleet, directly began to despise it. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 287, Are You Not Enough? Second more for subscription. In other words, in the heart of Bismarck, this follow-up unit that cannot keep up with its own speed is a mass of rubbish. You are so embarrassed to say. Tell yourself how many lines of defense you have broken through, how many interstellar port hunting, how many colonized planets have been created. Turbits said with his eyelids a little angrily. That's not much. This kind of combat exploits. I can't take a shot in front of the Admiral. I want to revive our Iron Blood Empire. We can only show our greatest advantage directly. With eyelids, Bismarck cast his gaze directly into the starry sky outside. Watching the enemy warships directly turn into masses of space junk, Bismarck's heart couldn't help but raised a faint smile of comfort. This is not enough. I want to revive the spirit of our jade blue ship Empress Jagged Empire in front of the Admiral. Then the results of such battles are not enough. This is not enough. I will calculate for you. Our forward fleet has not many warships. There are only 800 warships. It has been less than a week since we declared war. In this week, you have directly unplugged the 23 strongholds of the Cosmic Fortress, as well as the 3 patrol fleets that came to support the Emos civilization, and the 2 main fleets of the Emos civilization. Among the warships that you killed, there are no 3,000, but 2,000. Can't you keep some prisoners? Among these, some of the colonization planets and resource planets you have shipped. I counted it. There are 5. Well, to be reasonable, this Imoyan civilization is indeed much richer than the Azia civilization. Tilbits explained to the Bismarck while eating the insights in his hands. This is not the main thing. The main thing is that what we are rushing into now is indeed a little fast. We are almost on the other side's capital planet. The ordinary fleet wants to be here, at least in a few days. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. As a result, you took us to speed up the road day and night. It's crazy enough, nothing else. I don't know how many ship ladies in the team are already exhausted at this moment. With eyelids, Turbits and Bismarck explained. Hearing Turbits's explanation, Bismarck's expression became a little weird at this moment. Could it really be that I attacked too fast? No, it's definitely not that I attacked too fast. But you people are too scumbag. I can't keep up with the attacking speed of this Lord General. General Lingliang has communication to come in. While Turbits was scouring the Bismarck, An intelligence responsible for communications on the Bismarck battleship directly reported to Bismarck. "Come in." Let our General Bismarck follow the words of General Ling Liang. Tilbits, who has a big picture, also doesn't like Bismarck's excessive aggressive behavior. "Since I can't persuade, let the boss above do it." Presumably the boss above won't mind talking to Bismarck. "Yes, General Tilbits," with a smart off-line. In front of these two girls, General Ling Liang's communications were directly connected. Bismarck. Looking at the Bismarck in this screen, General Ling Liang couldn't help but flash across his forehead. Well, nothing wrong. Turbits was right before. This General Ling Liang is indeed preparing to persuade this Bismarck to stop and attack for the time being. It is certainly possible to break into the capital planet of the Imoyan civilization in one breath. However, a consequence of this will make the many main fleets of the Imoyan civilization turn into guerrillas in the Azar area and the newly occupied area. In this case, General Ling Liang will not allow it. Fellow reminds you, read 3 things to collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 288, The Final Battle Preparation. 3 more. Please subscribe. After all, the guerrillas can suppress the rear, and the suppressed colonial fleet has caused considerable damage. Even if there is a deep-sea fleet to rescue. No way, no way. Although Umbrella World has a very large war potential, but it is definitely not this kind of behavior that can arbitrarily waste resources in one's hands. Only when the fleet of the Imo civilization feels the survival of this country's planet. Send all the main fleet, as well as the frigate and colonial fleets, to defend the country planet. Defend the kingdom planet. Only this way, Umbrella World was able to fully dispatch the first main fleet in his hands. It directly turns into a scorpion fang, giving the opponent a sharp attack. A final attack. Bismarck, your attack speed is a bit too fast. The fleet behind can't keep up with you. The more important thing is don't attack the planet of this country for now. Do not take it under threat, forcing the opponent to gather a large number of fleets near the planet of this country. Be prepared for the final battle. In this communication, General Ling Liang also gave orders to Bismarck. Yes, General. Hearing the instructions of General Ling Liang, Bismarck saluted on the spot. Well, among the many ship girls, only the blue warship Lady of the Jagged Empire is the dominant military style. Like the royal family, the White Eagle, and the Heavy Cherry, it is either a kiln, or a kindergarten. It's really impossible to play. Thanks for your hard work. The credit belongs to you. I will report it to the commander. Looking at the tired Bismarck and the slightly scarlet A's. How could Ling Liang not know what Bismarck thought? Now that I know it. Then you have to give the other party a sweetness. Report to the commander. As for the commander's reaction, that's not a Lingding's. Yes, General. Hearing this remark of General Ling Liang, Bismarck couldn't help but feel refreshed. As a ship mother, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Well, it is a kind of Wang Wai kiss. There are not many opportunities for contact with Wang Wai, relatively speaking. There are quite a lot. Compared with ordinary people, there are quite a few. But the ship mother is divided into the blue ship mother and the deep sea ship mother. There are also various factions in the blue ship lady. Don't say anything else. There are hundreds of ship maidens in the blue ship maiden alone, and several factions. Want to get ahead? Only meritorious service, or great merit. Standing on the top of the blue ship lady. Unscrupulous. Yes, Wang Wai is unscrupulous enough, but he has enough strength. Only then can he be unscrupulous. It's not just the strength of other people's personal mighty power. It's the umbrella world behind others. It's not that Shankander planet can contend. Communicate. If you can communicate, it's okay. If you can't communicate, maybe. Today is the day of disaster on the planet Shankander. As the commander of the Interstellar Defense Command Center on Shankander, the whole person couldn't help laughing miserably. Carry in the people's fleet. It is simply not the planet Shankander that can contend. The planet Shankander, to put it nicely, it belongs to the civilization of the lawful side. But the planet Shankander only has such a parent star, and several resource planets. Not even a colony of the planet is under this situation. How could it be possible to contend with Kerry and the Empire? which occupy several star regions, even if the opponent is just a general in the Kerry and the Empire. One of the most authoritative generals. On one side are the generals of Kerry and the Empire. On one side is the Lord of one of the 9 realms, Mr. Wang Wei. No matter which one it is not possible for this planet Shankander to provoke. However, these things are no longer important to Wang Wei. You want to stop me looking at the Shankander garrison in the interstellar port in front of him. Wang Wei's brows couldn't help but raised slightly. The little raccoon behind Wang Wei. The rockets are unscrupulous. You guys. Do you want to die if you want to die? Master Rocket doesn't mind giving you a ride. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection. Otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 289, Who told you that I am a kind person? One more subscription. With a grin at the corner of his mouth, the Rocket directly raised the modified rifle in his hand and grinned at the hundreds of people in front of the Shankander garrison. If he hadn't seen the spatial cracks that Wang Weiner had torn between his hands and the endless mechanical soldiers behind this crack, then this little Rocket may be a little worried. After all, Little Rocket is not Xing's adoptive father, the one who can kill the miscellaneous soldiers by giving a golden throat lozenges. A whistle arrow blows. The boss who wiped out the enemy. This is the real boss. Well, this is the idea of the Little Rockets before turning to Wang Wei. As for now, Humphrey, except for me, Wang Wei, Boss Wang, the rest of you are all scum. It's not who I said. Everyone in the universe, all are scum. It's rampant. It's also unscrupulous. The little raccoon Rocket shakes the breeze of the fox and tiger. It is a vivid. You guy, looking at the posture of Little Rocket, a fake tiger. The corners of Wang Wei's mouth twitched slightly. Forget it. It's his own person anyway. Never mind. While chanting this kind of thought to himself, Wang Wei held back the thought of wanting to beat the Little Rocket. Also, please forgive the Lord. That gem is indeed very important to our planet Shankander. Looking at Wang Wei in front of him, the Shankander planetary garrison near the airport bends down directly at Wang Wei. This attitude is very low, very low. You guys, don't you know that this is the purpose of my coming here? I'm curious. Who actually told you? I am alone. This gem. What I need. Kerry and people need it too. But you have a mentality that you would rather offend me. I also want to take this gem from my hand, just to dedicate this gem to Kerry and others, in exchange for the other side's mercy. I hope the other side will not do anything extraordinary to your planet Shankander. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. So, have you considered how I feel? You regard me as one of the lords of the 9 realms. The face of Umbrella's world lord is there. With a cold face, Wang Wei asked the people on the planet Shankander coldly. It's really good. These guys. I think that Lao Tzu is one of the lords of these 9 realms. Is he a bit shameless for your Shankander planet? Will you abandon this infinite gem? Do you think that the face of the big boss is used by you to act as kindness? Please let the Lord calm down. For the planet Shankander, please. There is no way to refute it, or in the eyes of these Shankander people, as the Lord of one of the 9 realms. Mr. Wang Wei will definitely want some face. Only one infinite gem can be exchanged for the safety of this planet of Shankander, and this infinite gem is also on their planet of Shankander. Wang Wei is just the one who snatched it. Well, some hypocritical attempts to kidnap Wang Wei's waste with morals. For this kind of person, Wang Wei will never give a good face. Ha 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 ha. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. Who told you? I'm really a good tempered. Who told you? You can use this kind of moral kidnapping to threaten me. Carrion people have the ability to slaughter your planet Shankander. The Lord of one of the 9 realms, Umbrella World Lord. Don't you have the ability to slaughter your planet Shankander? With a cold face, Wang Wei directly questioned the Shankander people in front of him. Also, don't give me any tricks of universal projection. I want projection. Just give me the projection. Cut me a section. Project a section. Who are you guys fooling around? With a hint of anger, Wang Wei directly fixed his gaze to another entrance and exit near this airport. In this entrance and exit slowly walked out an admiral-level figure. Chapter 290, Why should I help you? Second more for subscription. Under the protection of a group of Shankander people. This admiral came out slowly. Oh, but this infinite gem. It's really important to us Shankander people. Also, Lord Wang, why? This infinite gem appeared on our planet Shankander. So, this infinite gem also belongs to our planet Shankander. You do this. It belongs to Ming. Grabbing with a sigh, the Admiral of Shankander softly retorted to Wang Wai with a little helplessness. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. It's really interesting. This is very interesting. Infinite gems belong to your planet Shankander. Your words. Dare to speak out in the universe. Your words. Dare to speak out among the people. Infinite gems. It never belongs to the weak. It belongs only to the strong. You who are weak, don't think about it. You are not qualified. His face became cold. It can be said that Wang Wai has suppressed his anger to the extreme. There is a scene where there is a big discrepancy and the film will be opened. Your Excellency, Wang Wai is not going to return this gem. Looking at Wang Wai's attitude, the general couldn't help but feel slightly cold. One of the 9 realms. What a shit, one of the 9 realms. There is no idea for the weak at all. This is exactly a bastard lord. What if I don't? With a sneer at the corner of his mouth, Wang Wai directly took out the carrier of that power gem. I turned it upside down in my own hands. Things are in my hands. Do you dare to grab a cold face? Wang Wai looked at each other so coldly. Please save me. The planet Shankander, looking at the infinite gem with fiery eyes. Even if there is more reluctance in his heart. This admiral bends down directly at Wang Wai. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Why? Is your planet Shankander part of my umbrella world, or is your Shankander my important ally? Or, you Shankander, prepare to enclose my umbrella world. With a slight sneer on his face, Wang Wai looked at the general in front of him like this, a problem that children all know. That is equivalent exchange. You old things don't even understand it. You don't understand. You are thinking of the empty glove white wolf. It's really a good plan. It's a good calculation. But who do you think I am? I am Wang Wai, the traveler. Wang Wai. Your Excellency is not afraid that today's events spread throughout the universe. Will it affect your identity and reputation as one of the 9 worlds? Asking for infinite gems fails. No begging. This admiral directly began to threaten Wang Wai. Well, it's a direct threat. Are you not afraid to spread the entire universe and affect your identity and reputation as one of the 9 realms? You are threatening me. With a flick of his wrist, this power gem was taken away by Wang Wai directly, looking at the Admiral of Shankander in front of him. Wang Wai's face was directly cold. I have seen an iron baby, but I have never seen such an iron baby. No matter what, you have to drag yourself into the water. Threatening your lord is also dead. If you don't threaten you are dead. Planet Shankander. No matter which one is, there is no way to escape a kind of death. Either die in the hands of Kerry and the Empire's fleet, or die under your wrath. When this gem is taken away by your lord, Kerry and the Empire will be greeted by the fury. Under this situation, no matter how the planet Shankander resists, ask for help. The fleet that can come must clean up Shankander. The fleet that can't come, either dare not fight with Kerry and people. Planet Shankander. Do you still have the right to choose? Whatever it looks like. Planet Shankander. There is no way to escape a dead end. The pale admiral showed a sorrowful smile directly in front of Wang Wai. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 291. No one can threaten me. Nobody. 3 more. Please subscribe. Seeing this admiral's remarks, Wang Wai was slightly silent. Even if you say that you can't escape a dead end. No one can threaten me. No, because I am the world lord of Umbrella's world. I am the lord of one of the 9 realms. I am Wang Wai. His face became cold. Wang Wai directly turned and walked towards the spaceship of Little Rocket. As Wang Wai turned around, cracks tore apart directly behind Wang Wai. Boom, boom, boom. Frames of mechanical soldiers rushed out of the crack behind Wang Wai. Like rain, directly tore the opposing team's small Shankander defense team and the lieutenant general to pieces. Among these Shankander soldiers, maybe only the general is a little better. At least the body can still be put together. The remaining people will either turn into dust, either it turns into clumps of minced meat. Let's go. Wang Wei, who didn't even look behind him, directly ordered the small rocket in the spacecraft in a low voice. Ang, here comes the boss. Hear Wang Wei's call. The little rocket hurriedly started walking towards the position of the cockpit, and the many officers in the Shankander Interstellar Defense Command Center who saw this scene through the monitoring could not help but feel a trace of desolation in their hearts. Can rush over to support allies. Fear the power of Kerry and people. He hasn't launched his own fleet for a long time, and the allies who couldn't make it, because of face, send one or two small fleets to slosh in the direction of Shankander. Wait until these guys arrive. The only thing that can be done for the planet Shankander. I am afraid that only the corpse will be collected. Maybe there are none at all. Shankan was directly erased from the star map by Kerry and the people of the Empire. How to go, boss? Outside are the teams of the planet Shankander, as well as a large number of Predator spacecraft and pirate fleets. Further back, it belongs to the Nakri and Renmin fleet. Looking at the reaction in this radar. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Jian directly raised his head and asked Wang Wei. The road is forward. Go straight. Wang Wei, who embraced his arms, narrowed his eyes slightly. He said coldly to the little rocket. Good, boss. I heard Wang Wei's voice that seemed to be arrogant. The little rocket immediately became excited on the spot. The boss's heart is not too bad, at least compared with this Kerry and Empire people. The boss is so much better. Just some good face. Hand over this infinite gem, and I can let your planet Shankander go. In this exclusive channel, Ronan spoke seriously to the commander of the Interstellar Defense Command Center on the planet Shankander in front of him. The infinite gems are not in our hands. Even if you ask us come out, we can't deliver it either. The commander of the Shankander Planetary Interstellar Defense Command Center with a calm face said seriously to Ronan, not in your Shankander hands. Ha 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 ha, are you deceiving me? You know the price of deceiving me. But death, yeah. Ronan couldn't help but sneer at the corner of his mouth and said to the commander of the planet Shankander indifferently. Hear this Ronan's threat. The commander of Shankander was pale, whether he was the Lord of the Nine Realms. Your Excellency Wang Wei. It's still the Ronan General of Kerry and the Empire. None of the planet Shankander can resist, on both sides. Her planet Shankander can't deal with it. Damn it, I said. This gem is not in our hands. It has been taken away. The commander of the planet Shankander, who gritted his teeth, said to Ronan one word at a time. The gem was taken away. It's not about who took it away. The commander can casually leak. On the premise that Wang Wei did not actively reveal his identity, if it causes Kerry and the Empire's fleet to directly catch up with Wang Wei's whereabouts. Chapter 292, Kerrigan and Umbrella can't afford it. One more subscription. Then afterwards, even if the planet Shankander is immortal, it will peel off this price. It's something that the planet Shankander can't bear. Ha ha ha, who took it away? Although my fleet has not arrived. But please don't forget, in front of me, there are a lot of Predator spacecraft and pirate fleets. I heard that the gem was taken away. Ronan couldn't sit still. No, Ronan had a deal with Thanos. As long as Ronan brought this infinite gem to Thanos, Thanos helped Ronan to secure throne of Kerry and the Empire. This temptation, for Ronan, it's really a big temptation. I can't say. Listen to Ronan's threat. The commander of the Shankander planet responded seriously to Ronan. You are protecting the one who took the gems. Then you are not afraid that my fleet will slaughter your Shankander planet. Ronan, with a cold light in his eyes, said coldly to the commander of Shankander planet. You are not afraid of that guy. Then you are not afraid of me, Kerry and the great general of the Empire. Is there a difference between being threatened in front of you? Be threatened in front of that person. Anyway, it's all one death. Is there a difference? The commander of the Shankander planet, who smiled sadly, showed Ronan an incomprehensible smile. You guy, attack me, the planet Shankander. Tell the Predators, Tell the interstellar pirates. Take this planet Shankander. Let them handle everything. This Gary and Empire general with a slightly sullen expression. Ronan directly gave a cold command behind him. Hearing Ronan's anger, behind this Ronan, the message was transmitted on the spot. One with this Ronan's order. Hundreds of these predator spacecraft and the thousands of interstellar pirate fleets were directly toward this mountain. The direction of Kanda planet attacked. Stop them. The fleet is dispatched. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. The universe machine is dispatched. Be sure to intercept all enemies outside of the planet Shankander. In this communication channel, naturally, I heard the indifferent instructions of Kerry and the Imperial General Ronan. The commander of the planet Shankander directly gave instructions to the numerous staff officers behind him. Yes, ready to fight. Prepare for battle. The first fleet, go directly to the front line, and be sure to intercept all the predator spacecraft and the interstellar pirates. The interstellar railgun is ready to fire. Once it was discovered that Kerry and the Empire's warships all opened fire. Call for all kinds of civilian spacecraft, ready to transfer nationals. Following a series of instructions sounded in the Interstellar Defense Command Center of the planet Shankander. Many people on the planet Shankander directly began to work, and Wang on the spacecraft of this little raccoon rocket is constantly browsing some information. As for what the information looks like, that's not known, boss. There is a predator spaceship ahead. The small rocket that had just flown out of the atmosphere of the planet Shankander suddenly spotted the mighty predator spacecraft and the interstellar pirates suddenly coming over. Directly asked Wang why behind him. Tube, keep going. For these mighty predator spacecraft and interstellar pirates ahead. Wang didn't even raise his head, directly ordered the little raccoon rocket. Yes, boss. Hearing Wang's commanding voice, the little raccoon rocket nodded repeatedly. He responded directly to Wang. And behind this little raccoon rocket, it is the defensive fleet of the planet Shankander. The mighty defensive fleet directly departed from this spaceport. For this only small spacecraft that headed directly into the battlefield. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 293, Boss. I can't stand it. Second more for subscription. The defensive fleets of these Shankander planets neither reminded the opponent to stay away. They didn't attack them either. In the eyes of the defensive fleet on the planet Shankander, this little spaceship, they are not qualified to manage it at all. Ha ha ha. Take a look. What kind of mouse is running away in a hurry? How come there is such a weak mouse, rushing over directly? Ha 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 ha. Kill him, kill him, kill him directly. This head is mine. Don't rob me. Among the many predator spacecraft, the countless predators laughed unscrupulously. This ferocious smile seemed to have not cared Wang and others in their hearts at all. In their eyes, the spaceship Wang was riding in. It's a mortal ending. Commander, there is a report on the front line. At this time, the commander of Shankander planet, who just hung up with Ronan, suddenly heard an order from the people around him. Report from the front line. This war has just begun. Why did the front line report that Ronan deceived everyone to directly drop Kerry and the elite of the Empire into these predator spacecraft? But it's not right. If it looks like this, the front line will inevitably lose out. Then they will also receive network information belonging to battle damage. This is it. While talking, the Lieutenant Admiral, who was a little panting, took out the report in his hand directly. When he saw the report, a small spaceship flew directly out of the airport on the planet Shankander. The target path is very clear, and he doesn't care about the hundreds of predator spacecraft in front of him. None of these are the key to the problem. The crux of the problem is the spaceship that flew out, and the port of departure. This is the supreme one of the 9 worlds. Lord King's spaceship saw this had just hung up a lieutenant's port. This means that you understand. Yes, this is the Lord of one of the 9 realms. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading His Excellency Wang's spacecraft. I just don't know if he is related to the people of Kerry and the Empire. See this look. This lieutenant general has a slight toothache. If such a person is related to the opposite Kerry and other people, then their Shankander is really a mortal ending. It's a matter. But it's not a good relationship. On the contrary, there is still a war factor between them. Shankander is saved. The satellite was directly mobilized, and the commander of Shankander who was watching couldn't help but sigh slightly. When I saw that one go straight forward. I don't care about the countless interstellar pirates and the Wang Wai's car of the Predator spacecraft ahead. This commander knows this Shankander is saved. It's really saved. As for the garrison troops of Shankander that have been sacrificed, and the Lieutenant Admiral, forget it. Just be killed as an unknown hero. Oh, go away. Look at me. Fire. With the operation of these arrogant and unscrupulous predators and some interstellar pirates, a series of battleship cannons directly attacked this small spacecraft of Wang Wai. It's over, boss. The other side fired at us. Hundreds of naval guns. See the icon of fire preparation on this radar. Little Rocket couldn't sit still a bit. Hundreds of naval guns. How to play this? Wait for death. Hundreds of death. At this moment, with the firing of this naval gun, the beams of light directly started to rush towards Wang Wai's car. As these beams rushed past, Wang Wai, who was sitting in the spaceship, opened his eyes directly. There was no trace of anger or anger in these eyes. It's incomparable, but it is precisely this incomparable appearance that makes the little rocket next to Wang Wai's whole person involuntarily excited. Fellow reminds you, reading 3 things to collect. Recommend less than collection. Please keep this paragraph, otherwise the collection IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 294, Black Hole Converts White Hole. 3 more. Please subscribe. My bitch. Why does this boss feel so scary? With such a thought, this little rocket couldn't help but shrink his head. I was afraid that I would be targeted by Wang Wai. Then by the way, it clicked. The indifferent Wang Wai in his eyes directly stretched out his hands. Bang! Following Wang Wai's movements, Anoda's black hole appeared directly in front of this small spacecraft. With the appearance of this black hole, those countless artillery fires were directly swallowed by this black hole. Seeing and suddenly appearing black holes, everyone is a little bit confused. Black holes, these people are very familiar with this kind of thing. But the black hole that appeared suddenly is a very ghost, and they just fired at this black hole. Hundreds of naval guns. Thinking of these naval guns is likely to cause this black hole to rupture, or even tear it apart. These Predator spaceships and interstellar pirates who were rushing to rush over couldn't help but get up, rush over and fart, waiting for death. If the black hole explodes directly, no matter how powerful the battleship under them is, how fast, it was swallowed directly by the black hole. One of the great wonders of the universe. No scum will bring you one left. Do you think it's over like this? The fleet watching these Predators spacecraft stopped. The corner of Wang Wai's mouth raised a slight smile. With a touch of Wang Wai's mouth raised, the black hole in front of Wang Wai has changed directly from the inside out. It's pitch black. The deep black hole that seemed to be evil began to shine with little white light. It is this white hole that opposes the black hole. If the black hole is to swallow everything, the hole is just puffing out. As for what the white hole can spit out, it is not known. However, sometimes it will spit out a resource star that has been compressed to the extreme. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Each of these resource stars is something that many forces are vying for. But now! After this black hole turns into a white hole, it's not just these Predator spaceships and interstellar pirates in front of them who are bewildered. Even the fleets of Shankander behind him were stunned. They have seen black holes. I also learned some information. If you say that you can create a black hole, then you are awesome and you're a real boss. We worship you. But the black hole of your special mother is directly converted into a white hole. Is it a bit too powerful? Is it a bit too powerful? When the defensive fleets on the planet Shankander behind Wang Wai are stunned, the Predator spacecraft and the interstellar pirates in front of them also commotion. The benefits of this white hole are well known. It can even swallow a resource star. Just grab the resource stars. Then, get rich overnight. Toot Niang walked away. I only need one resource star. Fuck you. The resource stars are also what our pirate fleet can ask for your predator spacecraft. Go away. This thing belongs to us, a bunch of idiots. You are here to make a comparison. Lei Lao Tzu is gone. Go, grab something. With the emergence of white holes, these predator spacecraft and the large number of interstellar pirates, who were dazzled by the rich benefits of the white hole, directly rushed towards the white hole in front of Wang Wei. For the sudden appearance of this black hole, and the conversion of this white hole, everyone didn't think about it. In other words, there are very few people who think more people are in a mole state, or be stunned by the sudden appearance of this black hole and the things that black holes have transformed into white holes. That's it. Either the brain is short-circuited, either it is greedy and wants the thing that is ready to be vomited out in front of you. To read the ununderlined version of the novel, please download fellow novel less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection IP is blocked. Greater than. Chapter 295, Naval Gun Reflex. One more subscription. What a group of greedy hyenas. I saw these predator spacecraft and interstellar pirate warships in front of me. The corner of Wang Wei's mouth couldn't help showing a wicked smile. It's really a bunch of garbage. A group of garbage that only cares about immediate interests. The crowd's flock to it does not mean that all predator spacecraft will flock to them. It was also because the few predator spacecraft and the interstellar pirate fleet were cautiously parked behind and did not dare to move forward. Put it nicely. This is called caution. It's hard to say. This is counseling. Is this the strength of one of the 9 realms in the command center of the planet Shankander? This commander saw the black hole in front of Wang Wei transform into a white hole. The whole person couldn't help muttering to himself, this person can destroy a planet. A black hole can be created at will, as long as this black hole is randomly thrown towards the sky above a planet. Some satellites surrounding this planet, the fortresses, are swallowed in. This swallowing will increase the size of this black hole, until it is possible to devour the planet in front of you. This is not the point. The point is that black holes are converted to white holes. Black holes represent death. The white hole represents the new life. Mom sells badges. I thought of this. The commander looked at Wang Wei's direction with a feeling of fear. It's better to come together. Sitting in the spaceship, Wang Wei leaned on the seat with one hand slightly supporting his cheek. The other hand was directly in the void with a claw. Following Wang Wei's movement, it fell. It started directly in this white hole. Shoo, hoo. Waves of naval guns shot out directly from the white. These interstellar pirate fleets and predators spacecraft that rushed to the forefront suffered one after another. This feeling, it was really a group of people who stubbornly charged towards the firepower point in front of them. Mom sells badges. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. This is what it is like to queue up for shooting. Queuing for shooting is not such a good thing. Wang Wei with a slight eyelid is still slightly dissatisfied with this kind of firepower. But even if Wang Wei is dissatisfied, there is no way. After all, this white hole, after devouring the firepower of these naval guns, there will be a certain loss. Not to mention that the black holes in this are transformed into white holes. It can be said that the firepower of each naval gun has been reduced by 2/3. But even so, this was weakened to only 1/3 of the firepower of the naval guns and directly exploded the hundreds of battleships that rushed to the front in the starry sky. One after another predator spacecraft, one after another star pirate fleet battleship. It turned into a mass of debris directly in this space. Even a little oxygen in the bursting spacecraft is enough to make these spacecraft burn in the starry sky for a while. Fuck. We were fooled. In this white hole is our previous artillery fire. This bastard. Kill him. Watching the 300 to 400 spaceships and warships that rushed in the front directly turned into debris. Thousands of spaceships and warships directly stunned behind this. In other words, they are all watching carefully this small spacecraft that is moving forward and the moving forward. The ability of that hand to convert a black hole into a white hole. but these guys were so frightened that their hearts were beating. Report to Ronan. This kind of guy is definitely not something we can deal with. Let Ronan send a personal mighty man to come. Otherwise, we will die if we go up. There are also some smart candidates in this Predator spacecraft. Well, for example, that Xing's adoptive father Finriva. This guy is a smart person. For Wang Wei, it is absolutely impossible not to go head-to-head. They are not qualified to go head-to-head. Their opponents. It is the fleet and space fighters of the planet Shankander. As for other things, they are not opponents. Fellow reminds you, 3 things to read and collect. Recommended less than. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Greater than. Chapter 297, Mechanical War Soldiers. Kill. Second, more for subscription. Your mightiness. Some things are not something you can take. Better to hand it over. Looking at Wang Wei in front of him. This one led the team to lead the carry and destroyer stars. Combat power. Eyes slightly cold, and said directly to Wang Wei coldly, as for the things that Wang Wei wants to ask, Count. Don't mention it. Why do you want to answer that? You are really, under such factors, these extinction stars, the quasi-star destroying guys are so arrogant. Even if you can travel in this universe, how can it be a quasi-destroying power? What's the matter? Let's say that so many of us are beating you, how can you release you even if you have the power to destroy the stars? Well, it is so crazy, so arrogant. Hey, interesting. It's really interesting. I don't know that this is Ronan's confidence. Who gave you the confidence? Looking at the arrogant quasi-star destroying guys in front of them, Wang Wei couldn't help showing a smile. If you want to get something back for your master, let's see if you have it. Let's talk about this strength. The corners of his mouth became cold. Wang Wei waved his hand directly to one side. A spatial crack shining with silver-white light was directly torn apart in the starry sky. With this spatial crack of silver-white light, it was torn apart. A dignified mechanical soldier came out directly from this. These mechanical combat soldiers. It can be said that each one is made by Wang Wei himself. The terminal to which these mechanical soldiers are linked. That is the super engine that Wang Wei carried with him. Hula. From the cracks in this silver-white space, hundreds of mechanical soldiers came out directly. Every mechanical soldier possesses decent strength. In other words, the power of the quasi-destroying stars. Perhaps the bottom of the quasi-destroying stars. But when the number reaches a certain level, it will cause a qualitative change. Go on. Kill him. Grab it. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. See these puppet-style mechanical soldiers. The combat power of a leading destroyer star turned black. This kind of situation can only go up for the mechanical combat soldiers who have created quasi-destroy stars. In this Marvel universe, it is not without it. However, this quasi-destroying star mechanical war soldier was created. No matter if it is fighting consciousness or anything, it is far inferior to the personal mighty powers that have been cultivated. Resource depletion is one thing. More importantly, there is no such flexibility as a personal power, and these guys can easily be carried by a quasi-star personal power to fly kites or even hunt. Try it. The huge mechanical war soldier that came out at the end did not step onto the battlefield. Instead, it came directly behind Wang Wei and turned into a throne standing in the starry sky. Sitting on the starry sky throne, laugh at this battlefield. This is Wang Wei. Kill them. Through the control of this super engine, these mechanical soldiers moved one by one in groups of 3 to 5, one team 1, directly facing Ronan's personal mighty guards. They hunted down again. Once, I could kill you once. Then, now, I can kill a second time. Under this situation, Wang Wei has no fear at all. In other words, it's completely an attitude of watching a show. Boom, boom, click. Following Wang Wei's instructions. This super engine in this dark matter space is directly linked with the Angel's treasure house of knowledge. For Angels, there are 3 magic weapons. The first is this Angel's terminal, the Angel's treasure house. The second is this super engine. Thirdly, they are the members of the Angel race. And now, Wang Wei has them in his hands. although it is far inferior to the power of the angel civilization. But it's enough. Damn, what kind of power is this? Are these mechanical soldiers so cruel? What should we do? Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 298, I slipped away, the boss fights. Let's withdraw first. 3 more, please subscribe. What else can I do? Wait, you can beat it, can't beat it, then watch the show. In the battlefield between the planet Shankander and these predators, interstellar pirates, these mechanical soldiers of Wang directly collided with the personal mighty guards of Ronan from Kerry and the Empire. At this moment, the defensive fleets on the planet Shankander behind Wang are also very dumbfounded. These defensive fleets have begun to dispatch. Under the circumstances that this big guy can't beat it, they directly carried out artillery fire to support them. They did not understand some of the words between these high-level officials. Even some of the contradictions behind this, they did not understand. But if they did not understand, it did not mean that they did not understand. They saw a person like Wang directly intercepted in the middle of the battlefield. Fight against the opponent's personal might. This is a friendly army. We must help. Well, in the minds of these simple thinking defense fleets, Wang is a friendly army. I must help. What are you doing to me? Rush into the planet Shankander. Behind these predator spaceships, Kerry and the Empire's Ronan fleet directly confronted the predators and the interstellar pirates who have been blocking the road but have not yet attacked. Hear the threatening voice behind them. These predators and interstellar pirates have withdrawn to the other side. Fight and fight with a hammer. People have turned black holes into white holes. We directly killed hundreds of our warships and spaceships. We are rushing to die now. We are not stupid. Under this situation, these predators and interstellar pirates rushed directly to the other side of the battlefield. With the predators and the interstellar sea, the way was cleared. In this mighty Ronan fleet, it was finally a scene to face. But when Ronan saw the front clearly, Ronan has a toothache. I wiped it. Why are you Wang here? Could it be that you took away that infinite gem? This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. You are the one who took away the infinite gems. When he thought of this, Ronan is a kind of sadness. How can I break the 5? But when Ronan is suffering from a toothache, the strength of these hundreds of units is as high as these mechanical soldiers with quasi-destroying star-level combat power have already wiped out the 10 or so Ronan personal mighty guards sent from the opposite side. Well, it is very simple and clean. Extinction. In this treasure trove of angel knowledge, a large amount of angel fighting experience is replicated. And these angel fighting experiences are directly used by this super engine, which controls these mechanical soldiers to wipe out these personal mighty guards. A group of scums, with your current strength, you still want to fight against those angel civilizations that don't know how many years old. The warhead experience that people have stored is enough to hang all of you. We meet again, Ronan. Last time, when you fled, I just said it. I want to kill you. I didn't expect you to appear again this time. With such a fleet, it's a coincidence that I'm really looking for you. Looking at the hundreds of warships with snakes in front of him, Wang couldn't help but smile slightly. Makes sense. Ronan's ability to pull out a fleet again really surprised Wang. It's you, the lord of one of the 9 realms. Wang. Seeing this person reflected on this screen, Ronan couldn't help but gritted his teeth slightly. It would be impossible to say that Ronan had no hatred for Wang. After all, because of Wang, Ronan lost a lot of his reputation in Kerry and the Empire. There are even a lot of supporters. How can Ronan endure this level? It's me. Why are you here this time for this thing? Wang, leaning on the starry sky throne, directly took out the power gem from this space. Chapter 299, Ronan, you are floating. 1 more subscription. The power gem appeared in front of everyone in such a grand manner. The power gem is the infinite gem of this marvel world. It can be named the name of the infinite gem because this gem has appeared since the beginning of the universe. Infinite gems, but it comes with a part of the rule power of this marvel world. As for how many there are, it is unknown. But since it is possible to carry out this rule power with a part, then the strength of the infinite gem is conceivable. Give me the gem. You destroyed my fleet. I will not blame it. Looking at the power gem in Wang Weidian's hand, Ronan couldn't help but breathe heavily. To be able to take over the power of the power gem, first of all, the strength of this person must reach the level of the quasi-heavenly father. Otherwise, it would be impossible to withstand the fierceness of this gem's power. And Xiang Wang's unscrupulously disturbing the gem. Just imagine how tyrannical Wang Wei's power is. I refuse. This thing is my goal. Why should I give it to you? Moreover, who gave you the confidence that made you think that you can kill your fleet to me, and you will be investigated in the past? Similarly, who gave you the confidence to attack my territory? Aren't you? Ronan is too big. His face became cold. Wang Wei said to Ronan that he was not angry at all. It really gives you 3 points of 3 colors, and you open a dyeing workshop. Ronan, you are floating. You fellow, presumably yours are not there. With a vigilance, Ronan, who was a little afraid of Wang Wei's placement, suddenly asked Wang Wei dully. These hundreds of warships surrounded Wang Wei but did not attack for a long time. The purpose was to search out the angels. These angels can be said to be Ronan's heartache. This chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. If it weren't for the angels whose combat power was overwhelming, the fleet in Ronan's hands would definitely not be destroyed like this. Bastard. Guess Wang Wei, who was supporting his cheek, leaned quietly on the starry sky throne. He began to speak with a smile to Ronan. Hear Wang Wei's voice. Ronan almost didn't explode on the spot. I guess your sister. I know a ghost. How can Ronan seem to have hatred with this Lord of the Nine Worlds? Why do you want to step in, intervene in a chicken? Neither Kerry or the Empire nor the Lord of the Nine Realms are something we can provoke. Then what do you ask these for? I'm thinking, what if Ronan lets us attack? I want to attack you. I'm not going anyway. Do not go to death. Yup. Don't even think about it. No matter how strong Ronan is, it is only with the help of Kerry and the Empire's reputation. But look at the Lord of one of the Nine Realms. Your Excellency Wang Wei. People are really awesome. They took a world directly from Odin. He also made Odin the title of Supreme. Tsk Tusk. These are nothing. According to the information I investigated, the Lord of the Nine Realms, Your Excellency Wang Wei, is a person who will avenge revenge. You said if he knew what we attacked him today. So, what will happen to us in the future? Hi. It makes sense. But just now we didn't know just now. Besides, those who rushed to the front are all dead. Afraid of a hammer. Just wait and it's over. Please download fellow novels to read the ununderlined version of the novel. Please keep this paragraph for collection, otherwise the collection of IP will be blocked. Chapter 300. Do you think you have a fleet? Second, more for subscription. When these interstellar pirates compare with these predators, there was a spark of war between Ronan and Wang Wei. I guess I just investigated the starry sky near here and there is no such angelic personal mighty army. You are alone. His face showed a look that he was in control. This Ronan suddenly laughed at Wang Wei violently. As for the personal mighty power of the Ronan guards who were killed before Wang Wei, Ronan didn't think much at all. Just because of these mechanical soldiers in Wang Wei's hands. If it doesn't show its combat power, it is impossible to see that these are the existences whose strength has reached this quasi-destructive star. Even if they have something that can monitor energy, detecting the huge energy of these mechanical soldiers. So what has been said before, mechanical soldiers. This kind of thing. At the low end, good to say, it costs a huge cost to make it a quasi-destroy star, or destroy the power of stars. Pure waste of resources, waste of energy, and let yourself die faster. The reason for everything, just because this is the Marvel world. Personal strength. Sometimes it's really powerful. The development of the technology tree has not been able to reach the stage of a super god universe. This is the difference. Haha. Let's try. Looking at the self-confident Ronan in front of him, Wang Wei slightly lifted his cheeks. Just sit quietly on this starry sky throne. Frames of mechanical soldiers. The guards were as honest as a loyal guard by Wang Wei's side. As for the pirate fleets and the predator fleets that were curled up to the other side, They looked at each other one after another. Was Ronan kicked his head or said? Ronan didn't even know that this was very interesting. This mechanical war soldier in the hands of one of the 9 realms. How could it be something like rubbish? It was just these mechanical soldiers who killed the personally powerful guards in your hand. But about this kind of thing, this chapter is not finished. Click on the next page to continue reading. Ronan did not approach them for questioning. They didn't bother to say. They were forced to come here by Ronan. These guys are also suffocating in their hearts. As for the interstellar defense fleets on the planet Shankander, it is even more the same. Why do I want to tell you the strength in the hands of this lord? You have enemies with me, Shankander. Still thinking of attacking me, Shankander? I tell you these things. Are you looking for excitement? Under this kind of thinking, whether it is the defensive fleet of Shankander, or these pirate fleets and predators, all of them closed their mouths. The communication network dedicated to Ronan was closed. Move the small bench one by one, nicking on melon seeds, watching how Wang would put the Ronan in front of him on the ground. Trying you is really unpleasant. I don't believe it. You are alone now. Can also deal with my fleet. Ronan, who was slightly savage on his face, waved his big hand directly. With Ronan's big hand, the hundreds of warships under this Ronan's command directly issued their own roars, and seeing these guns stretch out, the Ronan fleet coming out, the Shankander defensive fleets behind Wang became nervous. No one, because Wang was in front of these defensive fleets. As long as these artillery fires past Wang then the first one hit the place. It's on their heads. This is so tolerant of defense. Must be defense. With the roar of this fleet commander, the energy shields and energy positions were opened one by one. The naval guns were directly charged and prepared. Be ready to hedge against the naval guns in the Ronan fleet like these slippery fish. But for the behavior of these guys behind him, Wang has no idea at all. No idea at all. You think? Do you have a naval gun? Looking at the fleet in Ronan's hands ahead, Wang's mouth showed a slight smile.